Introduction. The Great Illusion, the Dream of Separation. You look at the night sky. You see the black immensity dotted with distant points of light. You feel small. You feel fragile. You feel that you are a biological accident trapped on a wet rock that revolves around an average star in the suburbs of an indifferent galaxy. You feel there is an I in here, your thoughts, your body, your story, and a universe out there separate from you, alien to you, and often hostile. That sense of cosmic loneliness is the basis of all human suffering. It is the origin of the fear of death, of greed, and of war. But I have news for you. But I have news that has been whispered in the temples of Egypt, in the caves of the Himalayas, and in the mystery schools of Greece for millennia. That separation is a lie. It is the most perfect, complex, and persistent hallucination ever designed. It is an optical magic trick. The truth, the only absolute truth that withstands final analysis, is much more strange and wonderful. Only one exists. There are not two things in this universe. There is no creator and creation. There is no observer and observed. There is only one infinite consciousness, an intelligent and living primordial energy, playing hide-and-seek with itself. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean, temporarily experiencing how it feels to be a drop. You are not a human being seeking a spiritual experience. You are the one spirit having a human experience. Why? Why would the one who is all perfect and eternal decide to fragment into billions of ignorant pieces? The answer is simple and terrifying: to know itself. The eye cannot see itself without a mirror. Light cannot know its brightness without darkness. The infinite, in its perfect solitude, desired experience. And to have experience, it needed contrast. It needed drama. It needed forgetting. So the one put on a mask. It put on your mask. It induced a voluntary amnesia to be able to play the game of life with real intensity. In order for you to feel fear, surprise, love, and pain, you had to forget that you are God. If you remembered your omnipotence all the time, the game would be boring. This book, The Law of One, is not a self-help manual for your character, your ego, to have more success in the game. This book is a wake-up call for the player. We are going to tear the veil of forgetting. We are going to explore the physics of light, the geometry of consciousness, and the architecture of dimensions. You are not going to learn anything new. You are going to remember what you were before you were born. You are going to remember why you chose to come to Earth at this moment of transition. The search is over. You have been looking for God outside, in the sky, in books, in temples. And all this time, the one who was searching was the same one you were looking for. Get ready. The dream of separation ends here. Welcome to reality. Welcome to the Law of One. Chapter 1. Intelligent Infinity, the Paradox of Origin. Before the beginning there was nothing, and that nothing was not empty. It was full. It was a silent fullness, an ocean of potentiality without shores, without bottom, and without surface. The ancients called it Ein Sof, the Tao, Brahman, the Great Mystery. We will call it Intelligent Infinity. In that state, the knower and the known were one. There was no time because there was no movement. There was no space because there was no objects. There was only pure consciousness, breathing in its own eternity. And then, a desire arose. The Akashic Chronicles. The one desired to know itself, but how can the eye see itself if it has no mirror? To see itself, the one had to become two. It had to create the illusion of other. And in that first act of sacred division, the universe was born. You are the result of that original desire. You are the mirror in which God looks every morning. Imagine you are floating in an absolute black space. You have no body. You have no name. You have no history. There are no stars, no galaxies, no atoms. There is no up or down. There is no yesterday or tomorrow. There is only a pure, awake, lucid, and eternal consciousness. That consciousness is you, but not the small you who worries about bills. It is the greater you, the original you. You are in absolute peace. You are omnipotent because nothing limits you. You are omniscient because you are everything that exists. But there is a problem in this static perfection. You are alone. And you are not just alone. You are blind to your own magnificence. You know you are infinite, but you cannot experience your infinity because there is nothing to compare yourself to. You cannot know what light is because darkness does not exist. You cannot know what love is because there is no one to love. You cannot know what joy is because the possibility of sadness does not exist. You are an abstract concept floating in the void. You are pure potentiality, but not manifest reality. It is like being the best painter in the world, having all the colors in your mind but having no canvas or brushes. Then, in the midst of that eternal silence, a thought arises, a primary impulse, a vibration that breaks the stillness of the great ocean. The thought is, I want to know myself. Not intellectually, you already know yourself, but experientially. I want to feel, touch, see, live. And to achieve that, intelligent infinity makes a radical decision. It decides to play a game with itself. It decides to fragment. It decides to explode. It decides to project a holographic hallucination of otherness. That moment is what scientists call the Big Bang. Mystics call it let there be light, but it was not an explosion of rocks and gas. It was an explosion of consciousness, and you, reader, are one of those sparks that shot out in that sacred instant. Today, we are going to explore the nature of that intelligent infinity and why you are, literally, the creator, disguised as a creature. By the nature of the all, the canvas and the painting, to understand the law of one, we must discard the childish idea of God as a man with a beard, sitting on a cloud, judging humans. That is an anthropomorphic projection, a caricature created by primitive minds to control the masses. The God of real metaphysics is not a person. It is a unified field. It is the background energy of the universe. It is the force of which the Jedi speak, the quantum field of Planck, the logos of Heraclitus. Intelligent infinity has three fundamental characteristics that you must understand to stop feeling separated. Omnipresence. There is no out there. There is no place where the one is not. The empty space between atoms is not empty. It is full of this intelligence. Therefore, you cannot be far from God. You are made of God. Separation is a topological impossibility. Omnipotence, free energy. The one is the source of all energy. Matter is simply energy of the one condensed and vibrating at low speed, E or mc2. Your body is frozen light. Your thought is liquid light. Omniscience, the network. Every particle in the universe is entangled with all others. If you modify an atom here, the entire universe readjusts instantly to accommodate that change. There are no secrets. Everything is connected in a cosmic neural network. When we say all is one, it is not a poetic metaphor for us to be kind. It is a literal description of the architecture of reality. Your hands, the chair where you sit, the air you breathe, and the star that explodes millions of light years away are ripples in the same sheet. They are the same material, taking different temporary forms. Just as ice, water, and steam are the same, H2O, in different vibratory states, you and the source are the same in different densities. 2. The paradox of the mirror. Why the pain? If we are the one and the one is perfect, why does pain exist? Why does ignorance exist? Why does evil exist? This is the question that has tormented humanity since the beginning. The answer lies in the paradox of the mirror. Imagine you are the only being in existence. You are absolute love. How can you know that you are love if there is only love? Love in the void is neutral. It is invisible. To experience love, you need to create something that is not love, or that seems not to be. You need to create fear. To experience light, you need to create darkness. To experience unity, you need to create separation. The one created duality as a learning tool. It designed a stage, the physical universe, where the laws of perfection seem not to apply, where things die, where things hurt, where there is gravity and resistance. Why? Because resistance is necessary for growth. A muscle does not grow without the resistance of the weight. A soul does not evolve without the resistance of incarnated life. You, as a fragment of the one, volunteered to enter this high-density simulator. You said, I am going to forget who I am. I am going to enter a fragile body. I am going to feel the cold, the hunger and the abandonment. And my mission will be to remember that I am love in the midst of conditions that deny love. That is the great game. Suffering is not a divine punishment. It is the friction necessary for the diamond to be polished. Evil is not a force opposed to God. There is nothing outside of God. It is a force within God that acts as a catalyst. It is the necessary villain in the play so that the hero can discover his courage. Without the dragon, the knight is just a guy in a shiny metal suit that rusts. 30. The holographic principle, the ocean in the drop. Modern science is beginning to discover what mystics have always known. The universe is a hologram. What is a hologram? If you take a normal photograph and cut it in two, you have two halves of the image. If you take a holographic film and cut it into 1,000 pieces, each small piece contains the entire image. The part contains the whole. This is crucial for understanding the law of one. You are not a part of God in the sense that you are an arm or a leg separate from the body. You are a fractal of God. You contain the totality of the source code of intelligent infinity within your heart center. You have access to all the wisdom, all the power, and all the creativity of the universe, because the universe is folded within you. As Rumi said, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. This changes the rules of the game. It means you don't have to ask for things from an external God. It means you have to unlock things from within. Prayer is not a plea to a distant king. It is an internal command to activate a frequency you already possess. When Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is within you," he was stating the holographic principle. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to climb any ladder. You just have to go inward, toward the center of the atom, toward the silence between thoughts. There is the gateway to the totality. Phi, the logos and creation, the mind of God. In the cosmology of the law of one, raw material, the process of creation is explained technically. Intelligent infinity, the state of rest, pure potential. Intelligent energy, infinity focuses through intention, will. It becomes light, love. The logos, the galactic creator, the great consciousness that designs a galaxy. Our logos is the architect of the Milky Way. It designs physical laws, archetypes, and evolution plans. The sub-logos, the sun. Our star is not a ball of gas burning by chance. It is a conscious being. It is the designer of our solar system. The sub-logos, you. You are a co-creator. You design your own life, your body, and your experience. Do you see the hierarchy? It is not a hierarchy of boss and employee, but of Russian dolls, matryoshkas. The logos is within the sun, and the sun is within you. All of creation is a mental act. The universe is mental, first Hermetic principle. Everything you see, planets, trees, buildings, are thoughts of the logos that have been densified and slowed down until they appear solid. If you could see reality as it is, you would not see hard objects. You would see geometric patterns of light, flowing and changing constantly. You would see the matrix of green code, but instead of numbers you would see sacred geometry. You, being a fractal of the Creator, have the same power. Your thoughts also create. Perhaps you don't create stars, yet, but you create your immediate reality. You create your health, your relationships, and your abundance through the sustained focus of your attention. You are a logos in training. Earth is the school where baby gods learn to handle the power of thought without destroying the neighborhood. That is why matter is dense and slow here, to give us a safety cushion. If what you thought manifested instantly, as in the astral plane, your fears would have already killed you. The time delay, time, is a mercy that allows you to correct your thoughts before they become things. The illusion of multiplicity, the prism. If everything is one, why do I see others? Why do I see millions of different people, animals, and objects? Imagine a pure white light passing through a glass prism. Upon leaving the prism, the white light breaks down into 7 colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. The color red seems very different from the color violet. They have different frequencies. They seem separated. but both are in essence the same refracted white light. The universe is the prism. The one enters the prism of manifestation and refracts into the 10,000 things. You are one ray of color. I am another. Your dog is another. At the surface level, third dimension, we are different. I end where my skin begins, and you begin where yours ends. But if we follow the ray back toward the source, we all converge in the same beam of white light. In higher dimensions, 6th, 7th density, individualities merge. Social memory complexes are formed. Souls join again, sharing all their experience until they finally merge again with intelligent infinity at the end of the cosmic cycle. Spiritual evolution is the journey back through the prism. It is moving from the vision of I am red and I hate blue to the vision of we are both light. Separation is functional but not fundamental. It is functional because it allows interaction, but it is illusory because ultimately there are no real boundaries. For we say the great game of hide and seek, Lila. Alan Watts, the great philosopher, described reality as a divine game of hide and seek. God plays at hiding from himself. He hides in you. He hides in me. He hides in the stone. And the goal of the game is to discover himself. When you have a moment of satori, of enlightenment or deep love, it is God shouting, I found myself. It is a moment of recognition. If you understand this, life stops being a terrible test where a sadistic God judges you. It becomes a dance, Lila in Sanskrit. It is a sacred game. There are no victims. There are no executioners. There are only actors with masks. The one who hurts you in this life is another aspect of yourself, another actor, who has agreed to play the villain role so that you can experience forgiveness or strength. At the soul level, before incarnating, you shook hands and said, we are going to play an intense game. I will betray you and you will have to learn to love yourself despite the betrayal. Deal? And you went down to the stage, and the veil of forgetting fell, and you took the drama seriously. The law of one invites you to look behind the villain's mask, to see the eyes of the Creator looking at you from the face of your enemy. When you can do that, karma dissolves. The game is transcended. You no longer need to repeat the lesson because you have understood the cosmic joke. Fifth, the Creator's responsibility. You are the center. There is a fascinating scientific fact. No matter where you are in the universe, it always seems that you are the center and that all galaxies are moving away from you. If you move to Mars, Mars seems like the center. The universe has no physical center. Every point is the center. Metaphysically, this is a revelation. You are the center of your observable universe. You are the axis. The world you see out there is a projection of your internal state. As within, so without. As above, so below. This carries a radical responsibility. If all is one, and you are the projector of your reality, you have no one to blame. You cannot blame society, nor your parents, nor luck. They are reflections of your own vibration. If you see a hostile world, it is because there is hostility in your heart. If you see a loving world, it is because there is love in your heart. Intelligent infinity is a neutral mirror. It says yes to everything. If you say, the world is a dangerous place, intelligent infinity says, yes, it is, and shows you dangers to confirm your Creator belief. If you say the world is a place of opportunities, intelligent infinity says, yes, it is, and opens doors for you. Assuming the law of one is assuming total sovereignty. It means stopping being a creature that reacts and starting to be a creator that acts. It means understanding that when you heal yourself, you heal the world. Literally, because the world is nothing more than the extension of your own auric field. When you raise your frequency, you raise the frequency of the human collective, because you are not separated from it. Vait, the eternity of now, time does not exist. Finally, we must touch upon the concept of time from the perspective of the One. For intelligent infinity, there is no linear time. Everything occurs in an eternal now. The Big Bang, the formation of the earth, your birth, your death, and the end of the universe. Everything is occurring. It is occurring simultaneously in different layers of the cosmic hard drive. We, the consciousnesses in third dimension, experience time linearly because our consciousness is narrow. We read the book word by word, but the One sees the entire book open on the table. This means that you never die. Death is just turning the page, or changing the channel. The energy that you are cannot be destroyed, only transformed. You have lived 1,000 lives, and will live 1,000 more. Or perhaps all those lives are occurring right now in parallel universes. Fear of death is the last great illusion of separation. The ego fears disappearing. The spirit knows it is impossible to disappear. How can something that is all disappear? Where would it go? There is no outside of infinity. Chapter 2, the first distortion, free will. The creator does not play dice, but he builds the casino. Inside the casino, the rules are set so that each player can bet everything they have, even their own soul. The creator does not intervene in the game, not because he doesn't care, but because intervening would break the only sacred rule that makes the game real. Absolute freedom. Freedom to choose the error. The Akashic Chronicles. The first distortion of intelligent infinity is free will. It is the decision of the One to stop being static, to become dynamic. It is the decision to allow its parts to move in directions that even he hasn't predicted. Without this, the universe would be a perfect clock but dead. With it, it is a chaos, but it is alive. The raw material. You have accepted the premise of Chapter 1, all is one. But looking out the window, you see a fractured world. You see wars, you see hunger, you see cruelty, you see people choosing to destroy themselves with drugs or with hatred. And the inevitable question arises, the one that has shaken the faith of millions. If everything is God, and God is perfect, why does he allow this? Why doesn't he come down and stop the hand of the murderer? Why doesn't he heal the sick child? Conventional religion tells you they are mysterious ways, or it's the devil's fault. The law of one gives you the technical answer. It is the fault of the first distortion. Intelligent infinity, in its desire to know itself, established a fundamental rule before creating the first galaxy. That rule is the law of free will, also known as the law of confusion. This law establishes that each fragment of consciousness, you, has the inalienable, sacred, and irrevocable right to choose. You have the right to choose the light, and you have the right to choose the darkness. You have the right to choose love, and you have the right to choose fear. You have the right to remember who you are, and you have the right to forget it completely and play at being a worm. The Creator loves his own creation so much that he grants it the freedom to deny him. If the Creator intervened to stop a war, he would be violating the free will of those who chose the war. He would turn his children into robots programmed to be good. A robot cannot love, because forced love is not love, it is programming. For your love for God, or the universe, to be real, the real possibility must exist that you hate him or ignore him. The possibility of evil is the price we pay for the authenticity of good. Today we are going to explore this first distortion. We are going to understand why freedom is the most dangerous gift, and at the same time, the only one worth having. What is a distortion, the lens? In the language of the law of one, the word distortion does not have a negative connotation, like something twisted or bad. It means movement moving away from the static center. Imagine intelligent infinity as a point of white light, still, perfect, and silent. That is unity without distortion. But if that light wants to do something, it has to move. It has to vibrate. Any movement, any vibration, any thought is technically a distortion of that original stillness. Free will is the first distortion. It is the first movement of the Creator. It is like putting a lens in front of the white light. The lens distorts the light to focus it in a specific direction. Thanks to this first distortion, the universe stopped being a homogeneous soup and became a playground of infinite possibilities. Thanks to it, solar systems, planets, and people exist. Without free will, only the one asleep in its eternity would exist. You are a distortion of the one. Your body is a distortion. Your mind is a distortion. And that is wonderful, because thanks to the fact that you are distorted, separated, and individualized, You can have a unique experience that no one else in the cosmos can have. There's the law of confusion, the veil. For free will to function at its maximum power, a special mechanism is needed: forgetting. Imagine you are playing a game of poker, but you can see everyone's cards and you know exactly what is going to happen. Would you have freedom of choice? No. You would only act according to certainty. There would be no emotion or risk. For the choice to have weight, there must be uncertainty. Therefore, in the third density, our current level of reality, the veil of forgetting exists. Before incarnating, you, as a soul, knew everything. You knew you were eternal. You knew your past lives. You knew your mission. But upon entering the physical body, you crossed the river Lethe. You forgot. The law of confusion was applied. Now you don't know if God exists. You don't know what happens at death. You don't know if your decisions are correct. You have to operate by faith and by intuition. You have to choose to be a good person without knowing for sure if you will be rewarded. That is the test. If you knew that God was watching you with a camera and that he was going to pay you $1 million for being good, everyone would be good out of interest. Mercenaries. But when you are good in a world that seems indifferent and cruel, when you choose love even though it costs you pain, then your choice is pure. The veil guarantees that your free will is genuine. You are blind so that you can learn to see with the heart. Threat, the neutrality of the Son, the Creator, does not judge. Jesus said a phrase that contains the essence of the first distortion. God makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. Matthew 5:45. Think about it. The sun, the Logos, does not say, "That farmer is a murderer, I will not give light to his crops." The sun shines. Period. It shines with the same intensity on the field of the saint as on the field of the tyrant. It offers its vital energy to all without discrimination. Why? Because the sun knows that everything is the Creator. The murderer is the Creator experiencing the distortion of separation and fear. The saint is the Creator experiencing the distortion of union and love. Both are valid in the eyes of the infinite. The universe does not judge. Judgment is a human invention, a second-hand distortion. The universe only observes and reflects. If you use your free will to destroy, the universe will give you tools to destroy. If you use it to build, it will give you tools to build. It is like electricity. Electricity has no morals. You can use it to light up a hospital or to electrocute a prisoner in an electric chair. Electricity simply flows. You are the one who chooses the application. The Creator respects you so much that he allows you to use his divine power even to deny your own divinity. IV. The architecture of choice, cause and effect. Free will does not mean that you can do whatever you want without consequences. It means that you can choose the cause, but you cannot choose the effect once the cause is launched. Here enters karma, or law of inertia. If you choose to jump off a building, free will, the law of gravity comes into action, determinism. You are going to crash. You cannot choose to jump and choose to float at the same time, unless you are an ascended master who has transcended physical law. In the spiritual plane, it works the same way. If you choose hatred, you set in motion an energetic machinery. That machinery will generate isolation, illness, and conflict in your reality. It is not a punishment from God. It is the physics of your choice. You are free to put your hand in the fire, but you are not free to keep it from burning you. Learning on Earth is based on the feedback system. You make a choice. 2. You experience the result. 3. You learn or not. If there were no pain after the error, there would be no learning. If you could put your hand in the fire and not get burned, you would never understand the nature of fire. Karma is the teacher who tells you your choice was not aligned with the one. V. The necessity of darkness, the contrast. This is the most difficult point for the human ego to digest. Darkness, evil, is necessary for free will to make sense. Imagine a world where only it was possible to do good, where you couldn't lie, or hurt, or steal. It would be a world of angelic automata. There would be no merit in goodness. For you to become a conscious creator, you must have the option to choose the path of separation. You must have the option to say no to unity. Those beings who choose the path of darkness, service to self, play a vital role in the cosmos. They are the catalysts. They are the weight you lift in the gym. The weight opposes your movement. The weight wants to bring you down. But thanks to that opposition, your muscle grows. The tyrant, the narcissist, the oppressive system are spiritual weights. They are using their free will to create resistance, and you must use yours to overcome that resistance. You overcome it not by hating them, because that is joining their vibration, but by shining brighter. Without the darkness of the night, you would never see the stars. The first distortion allows darkness to exist as a valid option of evolution, even if it is a slow and painful path. In the sovereignty of the soul, the end of victimhood, if you accept the first distortion, you must accept its inevitable corollary. Victims do not exist. This phrase is explosive. It causes immediate rejection. How can you say that? And the child born in war? And the abused woman? From the 3D human perspective, they are victims, and they deserve compassion and justice. But from the soul's perspective, outside of time, they are volunteers. Before incarnating using your total free will, you chose your circumstances. You chose your parents. You chose your body. You chose your main challenges. You designed your own video game. If you chose to be born in a war zone, it was not a system error. It was a decision of your soul to learn accelerated lessons about courage, loss, detachment, or compassion. Perhaps in another life you were a cruel warrior, and you chose this experience to balance karma and understand suffering from the other side. The moment you accept that you chose this at a higher level, you stop being a victim. You recover your power. You stop saying, "Poor me, look at what the world has done to me." You start saying, "Fine, my soul chose this difficult scenario. It must be because I am an advanced player." The acceptance of radical responsibility is the key to freedom. As long as you blame others, God, the government, luck, you are giving up your free will. You are saying that they have the power over you. The law of one gives you back the scepter. No one does anything to you. You do everything through others. 7. The paradox of fate, the river and the swimmer. Does this mean that everything is written? No. Does this mean that everything is chance? No. It is a subtle mixture. Fate is the cards you are dealt at the start of the game, your genetics, your family, your era. Those cards were chosen by your soul pre-incarnation. Free will is how you play those cards in each hand. You can have an excellent hand and lose by playing badly. Fear, laziness. You can have a terrible hand and win by playing masterfully. Intelligence, love, resilience. Imagine a river that flows toward the sea. The river is fate. The current takes you inevitably toward the ocean, reunion with the One. That is guaranteed. We will all return to the source, but you are the swimmer. You have free will to 1. Swim with the current, flow, accept. 2. Swim against the current, resistance, complaint. 3. Step out onto the shore for a while. The goal is fixed, the One. The path and the speed are your choice. Fate, the danger of indifference, tepidness. The saddest use of free will is not choosing evil. It is choosing nothing. It is tepidness. The sinkhole of indifference. They are those souls who pass through life like zombies. They don't love, but they don't hate either. They don't build, but they don't destroy either. They only consume, sleep, and die. They are the tepid ones that Revelation says will be spit out of the mouth of God. Why? Because they don't generate movement. Without polarization, there is no harvest. There is no evolution. The universe prefers a decided villain, because at least he is learning, than an inert mass. Free will is a muscle. If you don't use it to make firm decisions, it atrophies. You become a background character, NPC, in the movie of others. To activate the law of one, you must decide. You must choose who you are. You must choose whom you serve. Indecision is the only mortal sin in a universe of action. It's unconscious co-creation, magic. When you realize that the first distortion is real, you understand magic. Magic is not pulling rabbits out of hats. It is the art of using free will to direct energy. Most people use their will by default, reacting. The magician uses his will by design, creating. If the Creator gave you absolute freedom, it means that your word is law in your personal universe. If you say, "I am free," the universe reorganizes to give you freedom. If you say, "I am a slave," the universe reorganizes to give you chains. Free will is the magic wand. The problem is that you wave it wildly with contradictory thoughts. I want money, will 1, but money is bad, will 2. The two wills cancel each other out. Result, 0. Mastery consists of unifying your free will, aligning your mind, subconscious, and soul in a single arrow of intention. When you achieve that alignment, the distortion becomes a laser beam. You become a conscious co-creator. Chapter 3. The Second Distortion. Love Light. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. But before light there was a saying, there was an intention, there was a word. That word was love. Light is not the cause, it is the effect. Love is the spiritual gravity that compresses the infinite until it explodes into photons. Everything you see, touch, and breathe is light coagulated by love. There is nothing else. Matter is a dense illusion. Energy is the only reality. The Akashic Chronicles. The universe is not made of atoms. It is made of stories told with light. The second distortion is the creative principle itself. It is the Logos. It is the Creator's decision to manifest. If free will is the freedom to play, love light is the toy. It is the cosmic clay with which your soul sculpts mountains, galaxies, and human bodies. The raw material. Look at your hand, move it, touch the table, feel your clothes. Your senses tell you that you live in a world of solid, hard, and separate objects. They tell you that matter is real and that spirit is something ethereal, ghostly, or imaginary. Your senses lie to you. Modern quantum physics and ancient mysticism agree on an amazing truth. Matter does not exist. What you call solid is actually 99.9999% empty space, and that tiny 0.001% that remains is not hard matter. It is energy vibrating at a dizzying speed. If you could see your hand with the eyes of the Creator, you would not see skin or bone. You would see a swarm of flashing lights flickering in and out of existence. You would see a dance of photons. You would see love light. In the previous chapter, we explored the first distortion, free will, the possibility of choosing. But what do you choose? With what materials do you build your choice? Here enters the second distortion. The intelligent infinity, using its free will, decided to create something tangible. That act of creation is divided into two simultaneous movements. 1. Love, the focus, the active, creative, and masculine force, Logos. 2. Light, the matter, the receptive, constructive, and feminine energy, Photon. Today we are going to dive into the very structure of reality. We are going to understand why love is not just a romantic emotion, but the gravitational force that holds your atoms together. And we are going to understand why light is the ink with which you write your destiny. I love spiritual gravity, the Logos. Forget about Valentine's Day. When the law of one speaks of love, it does not speak of human feelings of affection, attachment, or romance. It speaks of a cosmological force. Love is the creative principle. It is focused, pure intention. Imagine intelligent infinity as an ocean of static and formless water. Love is the force that decides, I am going to take this water, and I am going to make a giant wave here. Love is the biblical word. It is the action of focusing infinite potential at a specific point. The ancient Greeks called this principle the Logos. The Logos is the mind of God in action. It is the great architect. Our sun, for example, is a sub-Logos. It is a conscious entity that used the force of love to design the solar system, create the planets, and establish the physical laws that govern us. Love is the force that says, let it be done. It is the energy of cohesion. What keeps electrons spinning around the nucleus of the atom without flying off? Science calls it the strong nuclear force, or electromagnetism. Metaphysics calls it love. It is the will of the Creator holding the parts together to form a whole. Without this constant pressure, the universe would dissolve into chaos. You exist because the universe loves you enough to hold your atoms together against entropy. Tears light, the universe's brick, the photon. If love is the architect, light is the brick. When intelligent infinity is compressed and focused by love, it transforms into intelligent energy. This energy manifests as light. Everything that exists is light in different states of condensation. A thought is very fast and subtle light. An emotion is a bit denser light. Electricity is channeled light. A rock is frozen light, vibrating very slowly. The most famous equation in history, E=mc2, Einstein, is the mathematical proof of the second distortion. Energy, E equals matter, m, multiplied by the speed of light squared, c2. This means that matter and energy are interchangeable. Matter is just trapped light. If you release the light from an atom, nuclear fission, you get a gigantic explosion. That explosion is love, light returning to its free state. This has devastating spiritual implications. It means that your body is a disguised light body. It means that the physical world is not bad or dirty, it is condensed divine light. It is sacred. To walk upon the earth is to walk upon the light of God. To eat an apple is to eat solar light processed by a tree. When you understand this, you stop despising matter and begin to revere it as the densest and most heroic form of spirit. Third, the dance of polarity, love-light versus light-love. In advanced teachings like the raw material, a subtle technical distinction is made between love-light and light-love. It is not a play on words, it is a description of flow. 1. Love-light, the healer. It is when love, intention, directs light, action. It is the energy of the healer. Love is the cause, light is the effect. It is the power to change reality. I, love, command that this situation be illuminated. Light. This is the energy you use when you manifest, heal, or create art. 2. Light, love, the sage. It is when light, wisdom, information informs love, being. It is the energy of the student, the observer, the Buddha. Light, the truth of what is, enters you and generates love, acceptance. It is the state of passive enlightenment. I see the light of truth, and that fills me with love. The perfect balance is love, light, and love. You must be able to act and to receive. Many spiritual seekers stay only in love, devotion, but lack light or wisdom. They become sentimental fanatics. Others stay only in light, study a lot, but lack love, human warmth. They become cold-hearted. The law of one requires the integration of both, hot heart and cold head. First, the illusion of solidity, the fan. Why, if we are light, do we crash into walls? Why does it hurt if I'm hit? Because of the vibration speed. Imagine a ceiling fan. When it is off, you see the separate blades. There is a lot of empty space between them. You can put your hand through, but at maximum speed, the blades disappear. You see a solid, blurry disc. If you try to put your hand in, the fan hits you. It seems like a solid object, but it is not solid. It is movement. Solidity is an illusion created by speed. Your atoms are fans spinning at the speed of light. They create a force field that repels other fields. When you touch the table, your atoms do not touch the atoms of the table. The electromagnetic fields of your electrons repel those of the table. You feel resistance, and your brain interprets that as touch or hardness, but you have never touched anything in your life. You have only interacted with light force fields. This is crucial for the aspiring magician. If you believe the cancer in your body is solid and real, it is hard to heal. If you understand it is a distorted light pattern vibrating at a specific frequency, then you can change it. You can introduce a new frequency, love light, that dissolves the previous pattern. The miracles of Jesus or yogis do not violate physical laws. They use laws of a higher physics, the physics of light, to modify lower physics. They reorganize photons with the mind. V. Intelligent energy, the living matrix. The universe is not a dead machine. The light that forms atoms is not dumb light like that of a bulb. It is intelligent light. It carries information. It has consciousness. Each photon knows what it is and what it does. The space surrounding you is a living neural network. The zero-point field, or the ether, is the mind of God pervading everything. This means that the universe hears you, not with ears but by resonance. Your thoughts are electrical impulses, light, traveling through this network. If you emit a thought of fear, you are sending a code. You are sending a programming code to the intelligent light of your body. The cells receive the order. The boss says to get sick, lower the vibration. And they obey. If you emit a thought of gratitude, the light begins to reorganize coincidences to bring you abundance. You are not shouting into the void. You are programming the matrix. The second distortion teaches us that we are programmers. The programming language is emotion, love, fear, and the code is imagination, light, image. Vi, the vibration scale, colors of the soul. The white light of the one refracts into 7 main densities or colors, the chakras or rays. This determines your level of evolution. 1. Red, survival light. 2. Orange, emotional sexual light. 3. Yellow, social mental light. 4. Green, universal love light. 5. Blue, wisdom light. Indigo, intuition and magic light. 7. Violet, divinity light. You are a rainbow. But most people have certain colors blocked. If you fear poverty, your red light is dirty or weak. If you cannot express your truth, your blue light is off. The goal is to be transparent. Clean the prism, your body-mind, so the light of the infinite can pass through you without being distorted. A master is someone whose prism is so clean that they radiate pure white light. When you are near someone like that, you feel healed because their light reorders yours. 7. Healing as light engineering. What is disease from the perspective of the law of one? It is a blockage in the flow of love light. Imagine a light hose. If you step on it, with trauma, resentment, or chronic fear, light stops flowing to a part of the body. That part darkens. Darkness is the absence of information. The cells forget how to function. They become chaotic, cancer, or die, necrosis. Healing is not fighting the disease. Healing is restoring the flow of light. It is lifting your foot off the hose. When you forgive, an act of love, you release the constriction. The light enters again. And since light is intelligent, it knows exactly how to repair the tissue. You don't need to know cellular medicine. Your internal light already knows. You only need to let it pass. Energy therapies, Reiki, Pranic, Qigong, are based on this principle. Injecting love light. Injecting love light into the dark areas of the auric field so the physical body, the hologram, corrects itself. The physical body is the map. The light body is the territory. Change the territory and the map will change. Vasil, the heart is transformer, green ray. The operations center of the second distortion is the heart chakra, green ray. Why the heart? Because it is the midpoint. It is the balance. The 3 bottom centers, red, orange, yellow, are of the earth, ego. The 3 top centers, blue, indigo, violet, are of the heaven. The heart is the bridge. It is where love, earth emotion and light, heaven wisdom meet. To access the magic of the law of one, you have to open the heart. This is not a cliché metaphor, it is a technical instruction. The green ray is the gateway to infinite intelligence. If you live only in the brain, yellow ray, you can be very smart, but you have no real manifestation power because you lack the fuel of love. Only when you raise energy to the heart do you activate the electromagnetic field, the torus, that connects to the matrix. The heart is the motor of reality. The love light enters through your crown and feet, meets in the heart, and from there is projected outward, creating your world. If your heart is closed, due to pain, the projector is off. You live in a grey world. The responsibility of the co-creator. Understanding the second distortion takes away your right to be a victim, but gives you the duty to be an architect. If everything is light, and you direct light with your love, attention, intention, then you are responsible for what you are illuminating. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on war, fear, lack? Then you are using the Creator's power to create hell. Are you focusing on beauty, solution, gratitude? Then you are using the Creator's power to create heaven. Light is neutral. It illuminates what you look at. If you look at a monster, it comes alive. If you look at God in your brother, God comes alive in your brother. This is the secret of alchemy. Where you put your attention, you put the light. Where you put the light, you put life. Stop feeding with your light the things you hate. Stop watching news that terrifies you. Withdraw your light. Those things without your light wither and disappear from your reality. They change timelines. Use your love light to build the structures of the new earth. Chapter 4. The Veil of Forgetting, the Matrix Design. You are not here to learn. You are here to remember. But to remember something, you first have to have forgotten it. The Creator designed a membrane of amnesia around your consciousness, not to punish you, but to protect the integrity of your experience. If you knew the answers to the exam before entering the classroom, the exam would have no value. The veil of forgetting turns certainty into mystery and knowledge into faith. It is the tool that transforms a bored god into a passionate adventurer. The Akashic Chronicles. Imagine an actor so accomplished that, upon stepping on stage, he forgets he is an actor. He believes he is the character. He cries real tears when the script says to suffer. He feels real fear when the villain appears. Only when the curtain falls, he remembers who he is and laughs at the intensity of the play. You are that actor. Earth is the stage, and the veil of forgetting is the hypnosis that makes the play seem like the only reality. Law of One. You have intellectually accepted that you are the One. You have understood that you have free will. You have comprehended that you are made of love, light, and yet you look at your bank account and feel fear. You look in the mirror and see wrinkles. You look at the news and feel hopelessness. If you are an infinite being, why do you feel so finite? If you have all the power, why do you feel so powerless? If you are love, why do you feel so alone? The answer is a piece of advanced spiritual technology called the Veil of Forgetting. It is the energetic barrier that separates your conscious mind from your higher self. It is the reason why you do not remember your past lives. It is the reason why you do not hear the voice of your guides clearly. It is the reason why death terrifies you. This veil is not a mistake. It is not a fall from grace caused by eating an apple. It is an intentional structure designed by the Logos, the creator of the galaxy. It was designed to enhance evolution. Without the veil, evolution would be very slow. With the veil, it is exponentially fast and intense. Earth is a heavy veil school. It is one of the most difficult universities in the cosmos because here darkness seems very real and light seems very distant. Today we will study the blueprints of this virtual prison. We will understand why you locked yourself in here and where you hid the key. Try the God mode problem, why we need the veil. Imagine playing a video game. You have God mode activated. You are invincible, you have infinite ammo, you walk through walls. You know where the enemies are. You know how the story ends. At first, it's fun. You feel powerful. But after 15 minutes, you get bored. There is no challenge, no risk. No. If you cannot die, survival has no thrill. If you cannot lose, winning has no merit. If you know the princess will be rescued regardless, the hero's journey is a bureaucratic formality. Intelligent Infinity had this problem before the creation of the veil. Souls evolved, but they did so without passion. They knew they were one. They knew the other was themselves. Therefore, if someone insulted you, you didn't get angry because you knew it was you insulting yourself. There was automatic love, but it was lukewarm. It was logical love, not conquered love. The Creator wanted intensity. He wanted to know what would happen if his parts truly believed they were separate. Would they choose love even in total darkness? Would they have faith even if there were no proof? Would they forgive even if the wound seemed real? To find out, the veil was installed. The direct connection with the source was severed. Suddenly the game became hard. It became terrifying. It became real. Now when you love, it is a miracle, because you have had to overcome fear and separation to achieve it. Now love has a flavor, and a power that did not exist in the realms of absolute unity. The veil is the secret ingredient that gives flavor to the soup. Hear the anatomy of the veil, conscious versus unconscious mind. The veil of forgetting is a semi-permeable barrier within your own psyche. It divides your mind into two unequal territories. One, the conscious mind, the island. It is small, it is rational, it is linear. It only processes what enters through the five physical senses. It lives in time, it is the ego, the unconscious mind, the ocean. It is immense, it is timeless. It contains the memory of all your lives, the connection with the Akasha, telepathy, and the wisdom of the One. It is the soul. The veil is located between the island and the ocean. It prevents the ocean from flooding the island. If you had no veil, you would remember everything all the time. It would be impossible to function on Earth. Imagine trying to drive to work while simultaneously remembering how you died in the guillotine in France in 1793, how you were a jellyfish on Jupiter, and how you are a being of light in the seventh dimension. You would go crazy. Your biological brain would collapse. The veil acts as a reducing valve, Aldous Huxley's concept. It reduces the infinite stream of consciousness to a thin, manageable thread so you can focus on being John the accountant in the 21st century. It allows you to focus. Ignorance is the price of focus. Thrust, the fundamental choice polarization. The main purpose of the veil in the third density, where we are, is to facilitate the choice. The spiritual universe is not neutral. It is polarized. To graduate from Earth and move to the next stage, fourth density, you must make a firm decision about your ethical orientation. There are only two viable paths. Service to others, positive. The path of unity, love, acceptance, and radiation, seeking the Creator in others. 2. Service to self, negative. The path of separation, control, power, and absorption, seeking the Creator only in oneself and using others. Without the veil, you could not choose the negative path. If you knew with absolute certainty that we are all one, no one would be so stupid as to harm another, because they would know they are stabbing themselves. The negative path would be impossible. It would be like trying to steal your own wallet. The veil creates the illusion that I am I and you are you. This illusion makes selfishness, cruelty, and manipulation possible, and by making darkness possible, it makes the choice of the light meaningful. The Creator wants you to choose. He doesn't want you to be good by default. He wants you to be good by conscious choice in the face of the temptation not to be. The veil ensures that. IV, the mechanism of faith, believing without seeing. In worlds without the veil, faith does not exist. Knowledge exists. You do not have faith that you have hands. You know you have hands because you see them. On Earth, God hides. There is no irrefutable scientific evidence of the soul. There are no proofs of reincarnation on the news. Everything is ambiguous. This is designed this way on purpose. If God appeared in the sky tomorrow with thunder and lightning, everyone would believe, but they would believe out of fear or obviousness. Faith is something else. Faith is the ability to intuit internal truth, despite the fact that external evidence denies it. It is seeing chaos and trusting in order. It is seeing death and trusting in life. This muscle of faith can only be developed in a veiled environment, and it is a very valuable muscle in the cosmos. Beings graduating from Earth with strong faith are considered powerful masters. They have learned to hold their own light in absolute darkness, without needing an external source. They have become autonomous generators of light. V. The holes in the veil, intuition and dreams. The veil is not an impenetrable concrete wall. It is more like a smokescreen or a mesh. It has holes, it has glitches. Information from the unconscious, the ocean, leaks toward the island constantly. How? 1. Dreams. When you sleep, the ego turns off and the veil thins. You travel to the astral plane. You receive messages. You meet with guides. Upon waking, the veil falls again and you forget 90%, but you are left with the feeling or the symbol. 2. Intuition. Those sudden hunches. Don't go that way. Call this person. It is your higher self shouting through the veil. Synchronicity. When the external world aligns mathematically with your internal world, repeating numbers, impossible coincidences. It is the system winking at you, reminding you that reality is a flexible hologram. 4. Deep meditation. These are technologies to temporarily lift the veil. You can see the gears. The goal of the initiate is not to destroy the veil, that is death, but to make it transparent. To reach a point where, even though you are in the physical body, you know it is a game. You live in the world, but you are not of the world. This is the goal of the law of one, living with lucidity within the hallucination. Why? Suffering as an alarm clock. If the veil is so dense that we forget our mission, how do we ensure we don't get lost forever in the triviality of eating, sleeping, and watching television? The soul installs a safety mechanism. Suffering. Suffering is the cosmic alarm clock. When you deviate too far from your soul plan, the soul sends you pain. A crisis, a disease, a loss, an existential depression, the dark night of the soul. Pain has a function to break the ego's shell. When you suffer, you look for answers. When everything goes well, you don't ask, "Who am I?" You just enjoy. But when everything collapses, you ask, and the question is the drill. The question is the drill that pierces the veil. Almost all great spiritual awakenings are preceded by a great trauma. Trauma cracks the rigid structure of the conscious mind and allows the light of the unconscious to enter. As Leonard Cohen said, "There is a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in." Be grateful for your crises. They are your higher self's attempt to contact you through the veil. Certes, cosmic loneliness, the isolation experiment. One of the hardest consequences of the veil is the sense of isolation. In higher densities, minds are connected, telepathy. There are no secrets, no loneliness. You feel the presence of your brothers constantly. Here, we are locked in skulls of bone. No one can hear your thoughts. No one can feel your pain exactly like you. This loneliness is artificial, but it feels very real. The purpose is to develop individual identity. For the one to know itself, it must first feel non-one. It must feel I. This extreme individuation is necessary to then voluntarily seek reunion. The longing you feel for something more, that inexplicable nostalgia for a home you don't remember, is the compass that guides you back. If you didn't feel alone, you wouldn't seek God. You would settle for mediocrity. Loneliness is the void that asks to be filled by the Spirit. First, the thinning of the veil, the current era. We live in strange times. The Mayan prophecy, the apocalypse, the shift to the age of Aquarius, they all speak of the same thing, the end of the cycle. Planet Earth is moving from third density to fourth density. This means that the base vibration of the planet is rising. And when the vibration rises, the veil becomes thinner. That is why there is so much madness right now. People are beginning to see things. The lies of governments come to light. Apocalypse means revelation, lifting the veil. Institutions fall. People have spontaneous awakenings. The veil is tearing. For the one who is prepared, the one who has sought truth, this is wonderful. They begin to remember their powers. For the one who is not prepared, the one who clings to the material illusion, this is terrifying. They feel reality dissolving. They feel psychosis. Your job is to stay calm while the stage is dismantled. Understand that what falls is the false curtain to reveal the true masterpiece behind it. Say, navigating the veiled matrix. Knowing that you have a veil, how should you live? You must live as a double agent. You have a cover identity, your name, your job, your ego. Use it. Pay your taxes. Be kind to neighbors. Respect traffic laws. Play the 3D game impeccably, but never forget your real identity, the one. Maintain a secret channel open with your base, your spirit. Use the as-if technique. Even though you don't see your guides, act as if they were there. Even though you don't see the purpose of your pain, act as if it had a perfect sense. Even though you feel separate, treat others as if they were yourself. By acting as if, you tune into the frequency of the truth, and eventually the truth responds. Faith is not waiting to see to believe. It is believing to be able to see. You are the projector. The veil is the screen. Chapter 5, Others Do Not Exist, the Universal Mirror. If you hate a person, you hate something in them that is part of yourself. What is not part of ourselves does not disturb us. The world is a giant mirror that reflects your own consciousness. You cannot see outside what you do not have inside. If you see thieves, it is because you fear losing, attachment. If you see tyrants, it is because you fear your own impotence, victimhood. There is no one out there. There is only you, projected onto a billion faces, playing hide and seek with yourself. Hermann Hesse, Adaptation. In Lakech, I'm another you. Hala Ken, you are another me. This was the Mayan greeting. It was not a social courtesy. It was a statement of physical facts. When you harm another, it is as if your right hand cut your left hand. The right hand may believe it has won the fight, but the whole body bleeds. The illusion of others is the root of all war, all theft, and all suffering on earth. Ancestral wisdom, you have crossed the threshold. You know you are the creator experiencing a distortion. You know the universe is made of light. You know you wear a veil, but now you go out into the street and you meet them. The noisy neighbor, the abusive boss, the ex-partner who broke your heart, the corrupt politician on the news, the murderer, the saint, the beggar, and the millionaire. They seem so real. They seem so different from you. They seem external, autonomous, and often threatening. I have to tell you the most difficult truth of the law of one to digest. They do not exist. Not as separate entities. Not as others. They are you, literally. They are versions of yourself in different timelines, with different genetics and different conditioning, acting out specific roles that you have requested. The universe is a hall of mirrors. Wherever you look, you only see your own face. But the mirrors are magical. They distort the image. Some make you look tall, others short, others monstrous, others divine. But the light reflected in all of them is the same light that you emit. Today we are going to break the mirror. We are going to stop fighting with the reflection and start talking to the being that projects the image. Get ready to forgive the unforgivable, not because they are good, but because there was never anyone else to forgive than yourself. The physics of projection, the movie projector. To understand this, let's use the movie analogy. You are sitting in the theater seat, your consciousness. You look at the screen, the 3D reality. On the screen appears a monster that scares you. Do you get up and attack the screen with a sword? No. That would be useless. You would only rip the fabric. The monster would still be projected there. To change the monster, you have to go to the projection booth and change the film. The film is inside you. The roll of film consists of your beliefs, your fears, your traumas, and your vibration. The projector's light is your consciousness. The screen is the other's screen. Others have no free will in your reality to do anything to you that you have not vibrated first. This sounds harsh. It sounds like blaming the victim. But in high metaphysics, there are no victims. There are creators. If a pattern of betrayal is recorded in your internal film roll, the universe must hire an actor. The universe hires an other to play the role of traitor. That actor could be your partner, your associate, or your friend. He, at the soul level, loves you so much that he accepted the villain role. He agreed to be the bad guy so you could see your projected film and hopefully heal it. Without the actor, the film would remain on the roll, invisible and unresolved. The other performs the service of externalizing your internal. 2. The law of resonance, the hook. Why do you dislike someone? Analyze it coldly. There are murderers in prison who provoke no emotion in you, only indifference, but your sister-in-law, who only makes passive-aggressive comments, makes your blood boil. Why? Because you have resonance. Carl Jung called this the shadow. What bothers you about others is invariably something you deny in yourself. The selfish one. If someone selfish deeply bothers you, it is because you have a repressed desire to be selfish, to take care of yourself, but your morality forbids it. You see in them the freedom you deny yourself, and that infuriates you. The weak one. If people who complain bother you, it is because you hate your own vulnerability. You have built a strong shell and cannot stand to see your own weakness reflected in the mirror of the other. The arrogant one. Only an ego can be offended by another ego. If you were truly humble, the other's arrogance would give you compassion or laughter, not rage. If you didn't have the hook inside, the trauma or belief, the other's behavior would pass through you as if you were transparent. There would be no friction. Friction is proof that two rough surfaces have touched. One surface is you, the other is them. The other is your most ruthless teacher. They point their finger exactly where you lack self-love. 30. The direct mirror and the inverse mirror. The Essenes spoke of the 7 mirrors of relationships. Let's simplify it into 2 main types. The direct mirror, what you are. You meet someone kind, loving, and generous. You feel good. That mirror tells you, this is also you. Recognize your light. You meet someone angry and shouting. That mirror tells you, this is also you. Recognize your repressed anger. The inverse mirror, what you judge. This one is more subtle. You are a super-organized, clean, and punctual person, and you attract a partner who is a mess, dirty, and unpunctual. Why? Doesn't the law of attraction say like attracts like? Yes, but you attract your dominant vibration. If your order is neurotic, based on fear of chaos and judgment of disorder, you are vibrating in fear of chaos. Therefore, you attract chaos. The universe sends you the opposite to balance you. It says, you have gone to the extreme of rigidity. Here is someone flexible, disorganized, to teach you to let go. Until you love the chaos, accept it, you will continue to attract it. Judgment is the strongest glue. What you judge sticks to you. Namaste, the God in me greets the God in you. In the East, they greet by joining hands and saying Namaste. It means the God that dwells in me greets the God that dwells in you. It is not John greets Peter. It is localized consciousness, A greets localized consciousness B. It is a recognition that, behind the mask of the ego, there is one same light. Practicing the law of one means looking at everyone with X-ray vision. You see a dirty and drunk beggar on the street. Your 3D mind, ego, says, failure, dangerous, stay away. Your spiritual vision, soul, says, there is the Creator, playing at being a lost soul, experiencing extreme cold and forgetting. And what courage that soul has to choose such a hard role. You don't feel pity, which is superiority. You feel respect and compassion. You see a tyrannical politician. Your 3D mind says, monster, enemy. Your spiritual vision says, there is the Creator, playing at total separation, experiencing power without love. He is trapped in a nightmare of fear and paranoia. What great pain his soul must feel to need to control so much. This does not mean you should invite the tyrant to your house or let them rob you. You set physical boundaries, 3D, but you do not set spiritual judgment, 4D. You protect yourself from the behavior, but you love the essence. This is the mastery of Jesus. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He did not say what they do is right. He said they acted from blindness, the veil. He saw their essential innocence behind their temporary guilt. Radical forgiveness. There is nothing to forgive. The traditional concept of forgiveness is arrogant. It implies, you are bad, you hurt me, but I am good and holy, so I forgive you from my height. That maintains separation. It maintains the victim-executioner duality. The forgiveness of the law of one is different. It is based on the understanding that nothing real happened. It was a dream. It was an agreed-upon play. You asked to learn the lesson of strength. The other agreed to attack you so you could practice strength. The attack happened. Your ego hurt. You learned, or not. If you understand this, what is there to forgive? There is only gratitude. Thank you for playing your role so well that I believed it. Thank you for squeezing my wound so I knew I had to heal it. I release you from the role of villain. You may go. This type of forgiveness undoes karma instantly. The energetic cord is broken. Often, when you forgive radically, the other person miraculously changes or disappears from your life forever. There is no longer a hook to hold them in your reality. Ho'oponopono, healing in me what I see in you. The ancient Hawaiians had a psychiatric technique based on unity. Dr. Hugh Len cured an entire ward of psychiatric criminals without seeing them in person. He only read their files and looked inside himself. He asked, what is in me that has created this person in my reality? What part of my mind is so dark that it projects as this murderer? And when he found that stain in himself, he said 4 phrases to the divine. I'm sorry, Please forgive me, thank you. I love you. He did not ask the criminal for forgiveness. He asked himself and God for forgiveness for having held the vibration. He cleaned the data on his hard drive, and as he healed himself, the patients healed. This is total responsibility. If someone shouts at you, do not try to silence them. Silence the shout inside you. Clean the memory of conflict in you. Say, I'm sorry, memory of pain. I love you. Thank you for coming out to be released. When you become peace, the world around you must become peace because the mirror cannot reflect something that is not in front of it. Saith the solitude of God, there is only one. We reach the most vertiginous existential part. If others are me, am I alone? Is the universe a schizophrenic monologue? Yes and no. From the perspective of the Absolute, yes. You are alone. Only the One exists. But alone does not mean lonely. Human loneliness is the lack of company. Divine solitude, all oneness, is fullness. It is containing everything. You need nothing outside because everything is inside. But from the perspective of the game, know the Creator has fragmented into billions of sovereign souls. The relationship between you and me is real at this level. The love we feel is real. The discovery of the other is the joy of the Creator. It is like playing chess with yourself. You know it is you moving the white and the black, but you surprise yourself with a good move. The mystery is maintained so that love can flow. We honor individuality while remembering unity. We walk on the razor's edge. I love you as another, knowing you are me. Fate, the danger of solipsism, the spiritual ego. Beware of a dangerous mental trap, egoic solipsism. Thinking, since others do not exist, they are filler characters, NPCs in my video game, so I can treat them like trash because only I am real. That is darkness. That is the path of service to self, Luciferian. Recognizing that others are you does not give you the right to use them. It gives you the obligation to serve them. Because if you harm them, you harm yourself. If you insult the waiter, you insult yourself. If you steal from yourself. True understanding of the law of one leads inevitably to the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated, not out of religious morality, but out of intelligent selfishness. You want your left hand to treat your right hand well. Empathy is not feeling sorry for the other. It is feeling that there is no other. Telepathy and the network, the invisible connection. If we are all one, our minds are connected, like computers on a global Wi-Fi. This explains why when you think of someone, they call you. It explains why when you heal a trauma in yourself, your mother suddenly changes her attitude. You are moving files in the shared folder. You have no private thoughts. Your thoughts of judgment, look how fat that person is, leave you. Hit the other person's subconscious, who feels attacked without knowing why, and return to you as discomfort. Your thoughts of blessing, what light that person has, leave, elevate the other and return multiplied. Living the law of one is being a guardian of the mental atmosphere. You make yourself responsible for the psychic pollution you emit. You decide to emit only frequencies that you want to see reflected in the world. You become a walking antenna of blessing. Chapter 6. Polarity, the engine of growth. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Revelation 3:15-16. For there to be energy, there must be tension. For there to be light, there must be a positive pole and a negative pole. If you connect two positive cables, nothing happens. If you eliminate darkness, light loses its definition. The universe is a giant battery. Your soul did not come here to rest in a static paradise. It came to polarize. It came to choose a side and charge itself with voltage. Conflict is the fuel of the evolutionary engine. Law of one. You look at your life and see conflict. You see love and you see hate. You see generosity and you see greed. You see moments of ecstasy and moments of deep despair. Your human mind, conditioned by comfort, says, I wish everything were always beautiful. I wish there were no problems. I wish the world were a garden of eternal peace. I have to tell you something. If the world were that, you would be dead, or worse, you would be in a spiritual coma. A world without conflict is a world without movement. A world without opposites is a world without definition. Welcome to the law of polarity. This is the rule that turns existence being into experience, doing, feeling. Intelligent infinity is unity, yes, but to know itself it had to divide into two. It had to create friction. Imagine a car battery. It has one terminal marked with a plus and another with a bar. If you remove the negative terminal because you don't like negativity, the battery dies. The car won't start. Electrical energy is the result of the tension between these two opposite poles seeking to reunite. Your spiritual evolution works exactly the same way. You need resistance. You need opposition. You need polarity to generate the soul force necessary to ascend in density. Today we will learn to love conflict, not for masochism but for engineering. We are going to understand why the worst sin is not evil, but lukewarmness. By the physics of stagnation, the danger of the gray zone. We live in an electric universe. Everything is vibration. For a consciousness to advance, it must accumulate charge. It must become intense. Most human beings on Earth today are neither good nor bad. They are lukewarm. They live in the gray zone of the sinkhole of indifference. They get up, go to a job they don't care about, eat food that doesn't nourish them, watch programs that don't interest them, talk about trivial things, and go back to sleep. They do not love with passion, but they do not hate with fury either. They don't sacrifice for anyone, but they don't do harm on purpose. They are good people, harmless but spiritually inert. According to the law of one, this is the most dangerous state for a soul. A lukewarm soul does not evolve. It is recycled. It repeats the third density, the human cycle, over and over, life after life, for thousands of years, until something shakes it and forces it to choose. The purpose of polarity is to pull you out of apathy. The universe prefers a decided villain, highly polarized toward the negative, over an apathetic victim. Why? Because the villain at least has will. He has focus. He has discipline. He is using the Creator's energy with intensity. He is going in the wrong direction, toward separation, but he is moving. Eventually he will hit the wall of loneliness and have to turn around, but he will bring with him all that acquired willpower. The lukewarm does not move. It is stagnant water. Polarity is the call to action. Choose, move, be something. Terse, the catalyst, the grain of sand. How does the universe force us to leave lukewarmness? It sends us catalysts. A catalyst is an event designed to provoke a reaction. It is the grain of sand inside the oyster. The oyster lives quietly and happily. Suddenly, a sharp grain of sand enters, a problem. It hurts, it bothers. The oyster has two options. Ignore it and suffer, and die of infection. 2. Wrap it in mother of pearl to isolate it, creating a pearl. Your problems are divine grains of sand, a disease, a divorce, a bankruptcy, a betrayal. These events are not punishments. They are polarity offers. The universe is asking you, who are you in the face of this? Are you a victim who complains and shrinks? Depolarization, lukewarmness. Are you a tyrant who seeks revenge and blames others? Negative polarization. Are you an alchemist who accepts, forgives, and uses the pain to open their heart further? Positive polarization. Without the catalyst, you would never have had the chance to define yourself. You would have kept sleeping. Pain is the chisel that breaks the shell of your ego so the light of the soul can come out. The harder the catalyst, the greater the opportunity for growth. Advanced souls do not choose easy lives on the beach. They choose difficult lives in the trenches because they want to grow fast. Thus the mechanics of the two poles, attraction and repulsion. To understand polarity, we must stop using childish moral terms like good and bad. Let's use physical terms, radiation and absorption. There are two fundamental directions in which the energy of consciousness can flow. 1. The positive pole, radiation, service to others. It is the centrifugal force. The energy goes outward. It is the sun. It shines, it gives, it warms, it seeks unity, it seeks to connect. It sees the Creator in every face. Its motto is, all is one. I love you because you are me. The key emotion is acceptance. 2. The negative pole, absorption, service to self. It is the centripetal force. The energy goes inward. It is the black hole. It absorbs, it takes, it cools, it seeks separation, it seeks to control. It sees the creator only in itself and sees others as tools. Its motto is, I am the center. I use you because you are inferior. The key emotion is control. Both poles are valid ways to use the energy of the all. The universe allows both paths, thanks to free will. But they have very different destinations. The positive path leads to expansion and social joy. The negative path leads to contraction and absolute loneliness, though with great temporary power. You are here on Earth to decide which mechanism you will install in your engine. Here the function of darkness, the loyal opposition. Here we enter deep metaphysical terrain. If the final goal is unity and love, why does the negative pole exist? Why do beings, human and non-human, consciously choose darkness? Because they are the loyal opposition. They are the sparring partners in God's gym. Imagine you want to learn to play chess. Would you learn anything playing against someone who lets you win every time? No. You need an opponent who tries to destroy you, who uses all their intelligence to defeat you. That opponent forces you to be smarter, faster, and stronger. The forces of darkness fulfill a structural function. They provide the resistance necessary for light to know itself. They serve the creator by acting as the villain of the movie. Without Judas, there is no crucifixion. Without crucifixion, there is no resurrection. From the human perspective, Judas is a traitor. From the soul perspective, he is the actor who accepted the role. This does not mean you should applaud evil. It means you must understand its utility. Evil pushes you. It tests you. It forces you to choose. If evil attacks you, and you respond with fear, it has polarized you negatively. If evil attacks and you respond with unbreakable light and firm limits, it has polarized you positively. The myth of static balance, the dead center. Many people in New Age spirituality seek balance, but they misunderstand balance. They believe balance is a little bit of good and a little bit of bad. I am 50% light and 50% shadow. I am neutral. That is not balance. That is cancellation. If you mix boiling water with ice water, you get lukewarm water. And we already know what the universe does with the lukewarm. The true balance of the master is not static neutrality. It is balanced intensity. It is holding a massive positive charge without wavering. To graduate from the third density, you do not need to be 50-50. According to the raw material, you need to be polarized, at least 51% in service to others, positive, or at least 95% in service to self, negative. Notice the difference. The negative path is much harder. It requires 95% purity and selfishness, which is almost impossible for a normal human. The positive path is more accessible, 51%. You just need your desire to help to be slightly more. But that 51% must be real. It must be chosen. You cannot be good by inertia or fear of punishment. You have to be good by conscious choice in the face of the temptation to be selfish. Thought consciousness polarizes, the daily exercise. How do you increase your polarity? How do you raise the voltage of your soul? Through the conscious use of daily catalysts. Every moment is a bifurcation. Scenario A, traffic. Someone cuts you off sharply. Automatic reaction. You insult, you get stressed, you wish them harm. Lukewarmness, negative polarization. Positive polarization work. You feel the initial anger, but you stop it. You breathe. You use understanding. That driver must have an emergency or is full of fear and haste. Poor soul. I send them calm so they don't kill themselves. Boom. You used a negative event to generate light. You have gone up a step. Scenario B, pain. You have a strong headache. Automatic reaction. Bad luck, I hate this, why me? Contraction. Victimhood. Polarization. Work. You accept the pain. This body is asking me for rest. Thank you for warning me. I am going to love myself by resting today. You have transformed suffering into self-love. Polarization is a muscle. The more times you choose love over fear, understanding over judgment, the stronger your magnetic field becomes. A time comes when you become a light generator. You enter a dark room and people feel good just by your presence. Your vibration alone elevates the environment. That is being polarized. 7. the trap of moral judgment beyond good and evil. Polarity is not the same as human morality. Morality changes according to era and culture. Polarity is structural physics. The universe does not judge the negative path as sin. It judges it as a path of high resistance. The one who chooses darkness is not punished by an angry God. He is punished by the very mechanics of his choice. The path of separation leads inevitably to loneliness, paranoia, and the constant need to absorb energy from others because you have cut yourself off from the source. It is a path of eternal hunger. It is hell, but it is a self-imposed hell. The doors are locked from the inside. The path of light leads to connection, peace, and infinite energy because you are connected to the source. The choice is not moral, I must be good. The choice is intelligent. I prefer to be happy and free. When you choose love, you don't do it to earn points for heaven. You do it because it is the most efficient state. Fate, tough love, polarity is not being foolish. Many people confuse service to others, positive polarity, with being a doormat. They believe being spiritual is saying yes to everything, letting people abuse you and smiling. That is a grave error. Letting yourself be trampled is not love. It is lack of self-love. And you are also an other whom you must serve. If you allow a parasite to suck your energy, you are doing a disservice to them, allowing them to be a parasite, and to yourself, you weaken. Positive polarity includes wisdom. Sometimes the most loving act is to say no. Sometimes the most loving act is to set firm limits. Sometimes the most loving act is to let someone fall so they learn to get up. Love light is dynamic. It can be soft like a mother or hard like a warrior defending the truth. Jesus overturned the tables of the money changers in the temple. That was an act of high positive polarity. Do not confuse kindness with weakness. And the ascending spiral, the density jump. What is all this effort to polarize for? For the quantum leap. The universe is organized in octaves or densities, like musical notes. First density, elements, water, fire, earth, air. Second density, plants and animals. Third density, humans, self-consciousness, the choice. Fourth density, love and understanding. We are at the end of the third density. Earth is graduating toward the fourth. To be able to incarnate on the new Earth, 4D, your vibration must be compatible with it. The fourth density is a density of high positive polarity, love. If you are lukewarm or negative, the fourth density light would burn you. It would be unbearable for your energy system. Therefore, those souls who do not achieve polarization, 51% positive, in this life will not go to hell, but will repeat the course. They will incarnate on another third density planet to keep learning the lessons of love and power. This is the harvest frequency selection. Chapter 7. The Two Paths. Service to Self versus Service to Others. I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life. Deuteronomy 30:19. In the architecture of the cosmos, energy is neutral, but its direction is not. Consciousness can move in two directions. Outward, in an explosion of generosity that connects all things, radiation. Or inward, in an implosion of control that absorbs all things, gravitation. The first path is that of the sun. The second is that of the black hole. Both are powerful. Both lead to the Creator. But the experience of the journey is diametrically opposite. One travels in company, the other in absolute solitude. The raw material. You have reached the crossroads. Everything we have talked about until now, the infinite, the veil, polarity, was the preamble for this moment. You are here, in the third density, Earth, for only one purpose: to make a choice. You have not come to be happy. You have not come to learn. You have come to choose your polarity. You have come to decide what type of engine you are going to install in your soul for the rest of the galactic journey. In this universe of free will, there are infinite shades of gray, but there are only two pure directions of evolution. 1. Service to others, STO. The way of unity and love. It is the positive path. Service to self, STS. The way of separation, control, and power. It is the negative path. Current human society is a confused mixture of both. Most people want to be good, STO, but they are afraid and act with selfishness, STS. This confusion is what creates chaos and sterile suffering. To graduate from Earth and pass to the fourth density, you must stop oscillating. You must commit to a path. Today we are going to analyze the engineering of both paths without religious moral judgment, but with metaphysical precision. You will understand why the bad guys have so much power and why the good guys are often weak. And you will discover how to be a dangerous and effective good guy. The physics of the sun and the black hole, radiation versus absorption. To understand this, let's look at the sky. The universe shows us the two perfect archetypes. The sun, service to others. The sun is a nuclear bomb of generosity. It burns its own mass to give light and heat to the planets. It asks for nothing in return. It doesn't say, Mars, you haven't paid the bill, so today I won't warm you. It shines because that is its nature, to radiate. The sun trusts that the universe will resupply it. It lives in flow. It empties itself to fill itself. This is the essence of the positive path, trusting that by giving, you connect to the infinite source, and therefore you never remain empty. The black hole, service to self. The black hole is an entity of infinite hunger. It has a gravity so immense that nothing can escape from it, not even light. Everything that approaches, it devours. It compresses it toward its center, its self. It gives nothing. It only takes. It becomes more and more massive, more and more dense, more and more powerful. This is the essence of the negative path, the belief that the universe is hostile and scarce, and therefore I must accumulate all power in me to survive and dominate. The black hole is disconnected from the flow, so it must steal energy to stay alive. Both are necessary for galactic balance. But you, as an individual soul, must choose which archetype you are going to embody. Are you going to be a sun that warms those around it? Or are you going to be a black hole that absorbs the attention and energy of everyone to aggrandize itself? Do the positive path, the way of the heart. Service to others, STO, is the path of unity. It is based on the metaphysical premise. You and I are one. If I help you, I help myself. If I love you, I love myself. The goal of this path is to open the heart, green ray. When you open the heart, you become transparent. The light of the Creator passes through you without distortion. You become a channel. Characteristics of the positive adept. Acceptance, does not try to control others, respects the free will of others above all else. Cooperation, believes that 1 + 1 = 3, seeks power with others, not over others. Humility, does not feel superior or inferior, feels equal. Radiation, their presence heals. This path seems soft, but it requires immense courage. It requires the courage to be vulnerable in a hostile world. It requires the courage to forgive when instinct calls for revenge. It requires the courage to trust in the invisible. The positive adept is not a fool. They are a warrior who has chosen the weapons of light. Third, the negative path, the way of separation. Service to self, STS, is the path of the elite. It is based on the metaphysical premise. The Creator is only in me. Others are tools or rivals. The universe is a hierarchy, and I must be at the top. The goal is to block the heart and empower the will, yellow ray, and the third eye, indigo ray. They close the heart chakra on purpose, because love is perceived as a weakness, a leak of energy. Characteristics of the negative adept. Control. Their obsession is to dominate, manipulate the free will of others for their benefit. Hierarchy. Creates pyramidal structures where energy flows from bottom to top. Magnetism. They are often charismatic, seductive, and intellectually brilliant. They attract in order to then enslave. Solitude. At the top of the negative pyramid, you are alone. You cannot trust anyone because all your subordinates want your position. It is the law of the jungle you yourself have created. Do not underestimate this path. It is a valid and very difficult spiritual path. It requires iron discipline. The negative adept cannot afford laziness or compassion. They must be in total control of themselves all the time. The dark elites who rule the world are highly disciplined in their path of service to self. Thanks to the 51% versus 95% rule, the mathematics of salvation, according to the law of one, to graduate from third density, you need to reach a percentage of polarization. The figures are surprising and revealing. To graduate on the positive path, you need to be at least 51% service to others. This means you only need to care for others a little bit more than for yourself, 51 to 49. You do not need to be a saint martyr who starves. You can love yourself, have money, and enjoy life, 49%, as long as your primary orientation is the common good, 51%. The universe is very merciful with the positive path. To graduate on the negative path, you need to be at least 95% service to self. This is brutally difficult. It means you must be almost absolutely selfish. You cannot have even a gram of real compassion. If you see a wounded puppy and feel pity, bam, your polarity drops to 90% and you fail the negative exam. You have to repeat the course. To be a negative master, you must suppress your humanity entirely. Why this difference, 51% versus 95%? Because service to others is the natural current of the universe, unity. Swimming with the current is easy. Service to self is going against the current, separation. To maintain separation in a universe that tends toward unity, you need a titanic willpower and almost perfect isolation. The good boy trap, martyr versus servant. There is a critical error committed by many spiritual people. They believe being service to others means letting oneself be trampled. I help everyone. I sacrifice myself. I don't say no. I'm left with nothing. That is not service to others. That is service to self in disguise. Why? Because you do it seeking validation. You do it so they tell you how good you are. You do it out of fear of rejection. You do it to manipulate emotionally. Look at all I did for you. That is ego. It is a weak ego, but it is ego. Also remember, you are also an other. You are a manifestation of the Creator. If you mistreat yourself, you mistreat the Creator. True service to others includes self-love. You must be full to be able to give. If you give from lack, you give poison, guilt. If you give from fullness, you give medicine, love. The true servant sets limits. They know how to say no to a parasite to protect their energy and give it to those who truly value it. Vital social structures, the pyramid versus the circle. These two polarities create very different societies. The negative society, pyramid, rigid hierarchy. The one at the top commands, the one at the bottom obeys. Information is compartmentalized, secrets. It is based on competition. Money, status, and fear are the social glues. This structure eventually collapses from entropy. The positive society, circle network. This is the model of the fourth density. There is no hierarchy of power but of wisdom. Information is free and total, telepathy. It is based on cooperation. If you win, I win. The social glue is trust. This structure is slower to make decisions, but it is indestructible. We are in the transition. We are seeing the pyramids fall and the circles be born. The current chaos is the tectonic clash between these two models. You choose in which model you live. Do you compete or collaborate? Seventh, the villain's function, honoring the opposition. From the perspective of the law of one, we must not hate the negative path. We must understand it and respect it as a valid option of evolution. Beings who choose service to self are doing a dirty but necessary job. They are providing contrast. They are polarizing humanity. Thanks to their oppression, people wake up. Thanks to their cruelty, we learn the value of compassion. If you hate the dark elite, you fall into their trap. Hate is an energy of separation. If you hate them, you join their vibration. You polarize negatively, justifying your hate with justice. The only way to win is to make them obsolete by shining brighter. When you see a negative being, do not say cursed. Say, I see the Creator in you playing at being separate. I respect your difficult path, but I choose another. You do not have permission to enter my reality. Firm limits, open heart. That is the key. Hate, the end of the journey, the sixth density. Where do these paths lead? Both climb the mountain on opposite faces. The positive path climbs the sunny side, in a group helping each other. The negative path climbs the north face, frozen, alone, pushing others into the abyss. But both reach the summit. And at the summit, 6th density, something fascinating happens. The negative adept, after millions of years of perfecting power, reaches a point where they can no longer advance without others. They realize that to access the final unity with the Creator, 7th density, they have to open the heart. They have to abandon their hard-earned individuality. This is a terrible existential crisis. The universe tells them, to enter here, the self must die. At that point, most negative entities surrender, accept the truth of love, and switch sides. Their millions of years of negativity transmute in an instant into a brutal positive force. They become the most powerful warriors of light. All of us eventually return home. To it, the danger of not choosing the sinkhole. We return to the key point. The worst thing you can do now is to do nothing. To be lukewarm, neither selfish nor altruistic. Just floating. If you do not choose, the universe does not know what to do with you. You are not useful for the harvest. Your soul is recycled. You return to birth in 3D over and over. You return until the pain of indecision is so great that you shout, "Enough, I choose love," or "Enough, I choose power." This book invites you to choose service to others, not because it is morally right, but because it is more efficient, more joyful, and more in line with the ultimate nature of reality. Going against your design, negative path, is possible, but it is exhausting. It is like trying to drive a car with the handbrake on. Choosing service to others is releasing the brake. It is flowing. Chapter 8. The Integration of the Shadow, Balance. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. This procedure, however, is disagreeable and therefore unpopular. The shadow is everything you have thrown into the basement of your psyche because it didn't fit with your image of a good person. But the basement is full, and the monsters that live there are hitting the floor asking to come out. If you do not open the door voluntarily to invite them to dinner, they will tear down the house. Carl G. Jung. The Creator wastes nothing. There is no trash in the universe. What you call evil, anger, or lust is simply divine energy that has been twisted. It has been twisted, repressed, and judged. You cannot be the all if you reject half of yourself. Holiness is not the absence of darkness. It is darkness transmuted into fuel by the fire of consciousness. A tree cannot touch the sky if its roots do not touch hell. Teachings of the Law of One. You have chosen the path of service to others. You want to be light. You want to be love. Perfect. But now you encounter a terrible obstacle. Yourself. You realize that, although you want to be good, you have horrible thoughts. You feel envy when your friend succeeds. You feel a sexual desire that you consider dirty. You feel a murderous rage when someone cuts you off in traffic. You feel laziness, greed, and pride. Your immediate reaction is, "This is not me. This is the ego. I must eliminate it. I must cut it off. I must be pure." Error. Fatal error. The moment you try to cut off a part of yourself, you create an internal civil war. You create a shadow. The shadow is not evil. The shadow is simply unloved light. They are the parts of your divinity that you have judged as unacceptable and have exiled to the unconscious. But the law of one is absolute. All is one. You cannot be one if you leave out the monster. The monster is also God. If you try to ascend to higher densities carrying only your pretty face and leaving your ugly face behind, you will not pass through the gate, because the gate demands wholeness, not partiality. Today, we are going to go down to the basement. We are going to stop running from our demons, and we are going to kiss them on the mouth. Only the kiss of recognition can break the spell and turn them back into princes. Size the New Age trap, spiritual bypass. We are living through an epidemic of toxic positivity. We are told, vibrate high, only good vibes, ignore the negative. This is a psychological catastrophe. It is called spiritual bypass. It consists of using spirituality as a drug to evade human pain and darkness. The person who bypasses dresses up as a being of light. They speak softly, dress in white, and always smile. But their aura is fragile like glass. If you prick them a little, they break or explode in hysterical rage. Why? because they have repressed their darkness instead of integrating it. They have built a dam to contain dirty water, but the water keeps rising behind the dam, and the pressure is increasing. True spirituality is dirty, visceral, and honest. It is not about floating on a pink cloud. It is about being in the mud and finding God in the mud. If you deny your anger turns into passive-aggressive resentment or illness, cancer, auto-attack. If you deny your sexuality, it turns into perversion or neurosis. If you deny your selfishness, it turns into manipulation. Look how much I sacrifice for you. What you resist persists. What you accept transforms. The master of the law of one is not an asexual, smiling angel. They are a complete being, capable of roaring like a lion and cooing like a dove as the moment requires. Thus to the origin of monsters, twisted energy. Let us understand the physics of the shadow. There is no such thing as bad energy. There is only blocked or distorted energy. 1. Anger is, in its origin, the sacred energy of self-defense and justice. It is the divine no. It is the force that sets boundaries. If you repress it, it rots and becomes violence. Greed is, in its origin, the sacred energy of expansion and growth. It is the desire of the universe to be more. If you repress it, it becomes pathological avarice. 3. Lust is, in its origin, the sacred energy of creation and vitality, kundalini. It is the force that generates life. If you repress it, it becomes obsession. Your job is not to kill the dragon. Your job is to tame the dragon. The dragon is your power. If you kill your dragon, your aggressiveness, your desire, your ambition, you are left powerless. You become a good boy, harmless, castrated, and weak. And a weak being cannot do good. They can only abstain from doing evil. To be truly good, effective service to others, you need to have fangs and claws, but choose not to use them, or use them only to protect. That is biblical meekness, which was mistranslated as weakness. It means power under control, like a trained warhorse. First, the psychic basement, the exiled child. Imagine your psyche is a house. In the living room you receive visitors. There you have your acceptable qualities, kindness, intelligence, humor. But when you were a child, every time you showed an unacceptable quality, crying, shouting, being selfish, your parents or society told you, "Not that, good children don't do that." To survive and be loved, you took that part of yourself, put it in a sack and locked it in the basement. That part is a soul fragment. It is a wounded child. Over the years, that child, alone and in the dark in the basement, grows. They become resentful. They become monstrous. They become a shadow. They start hitting the pipes. They start cutting the power to the house. You feel anxiety, depression, or panic attacks. You believe you are being attacked by an external demon. No. It is your own inner child, deformed by exile, screaming for you to open the door. Shadow work is going down to the basement. Turn on the flashlight. See the monster. And instead of drawing the sword, open your arms. Tell them, "I see you. I know you are my anger. I know you are my fear. I know you are my envy. I exiled you to survive. But I am an adult now. I no longer need to hide you. Come home. You are welcome at the table. You are welcome." The moment you embrace the monster, the energy is released. The monster dissolves and you recover pure energy, the child. You recover your lost vitality. 5. The golden shadow, fear of your light. Curiously, we do not only repress the bad, often we repress the good. This is called the golden shadow. We repress our power, our talent, our beauty, and our intelligence. Why? Out of fear of standing out. Out of fear of being rejected by the tribe. Who do you think you are? Out of fear of the responsibility that greatness entails. Many prefer to play small. They prefer to say, "I am shy," or "I don't know much," when in reality they are lions disguised as sheep. This repression is just as harmful. It is an offense to the Creator who gave you those talents. Integrating the golden shadow means assuming your greatness. It means saying, "Yes, I am powerful. Yes, I am beautiful. Yes, I have talent, and I am going to use it." Stop apologizing for shining. Marianne Williamson said it better than anyone. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Step out of the closet of mediocrity. V. The projection mechanism, the dirty mirror. How do you know what your shadow is if it is hidden in the unconscious? Very easy. Look at what you hate. The shadow is always projected. Since you cannot see it inside, you see it outside. If you are a person who represses their aggressiveness and considers themselves peaceful, you will see aggressiveness everywhere. You will see violent people, and you will be indignant. The universe will put aggressive people in front of you to force you to see your own repressed aggressiveness. If you are a person who represses their sexuality, you will see perverts and indecent people everywhere. The moralistic fanatic who fights against vice is usually fighting against their own unconfessable desire. Every time you point your finger and say, "Cursed be he," you are seeing your shadow. That disproportionate emotional reaction, visceral hate, is the sign. Indifference is not shadow. Hate is. Collect your projection. Say, "That person is irritating, yes, but the reason they affect me so much is because they are showing me something of mine. Where am I like that? Where am I a tyrant? Where am I a thief? Of energy, of time?" By withdrawing the projection, you stop seeing enemies and start seeing mirrors. The world becomes less hostile because you stop fighting your own reflection. See Emotional Alchemy, the conversation. How is a negative emotion technically integrated? Do not release it, that is sometimes evading. Do not analyze it, that is mental. Feel it. Alchemy requires the fire of attention. The integration protocol. 1. Detection. You feel a dark emotion, e.g., envy. 2. Pause. Do not act on it. Do not repress it. Localization. Where is it felt in the body, in the stomach, in the chest? 4. Immersion. Close your eyes. Enter the physical sensation. Take off the label of envy and feel it as pure energy. Does it burn? Does it squeeze? 5. Welcome. Tell the sensation, "You have permission to be here. You are part of me. I accept you." Breathe into it, give it space, make yourself big to contain it. 6. Transmutation. By being observed without judgment, the energy changes. It stops being a tight knot and dissolves into heat or flow. Envy becomes admiration or inspiration. You just digested a stone and turned it into nutrient. This is eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and digesting it until only life remains. A master is not someone who doesn't feel negative emotions. It is someone who processes them so fast they don't stagnate or project. It is a real-time spiritual recycling plant. Theos dynamic balance, the tightrope walker. The integration of the shadow leads you to balance. But balance is not static. It is not staying still. It is dynamic. It is having access to the entire spectrum of your being. You can be sweet with a child and firm with an abuser in the same minute. You are not trapped in the good role. You are free to be real. The goal is wholeness, to be a complete human being, to have your head in the sky, divine connection, and your feet in the mud, earthly connection, to have an open heart, love, and a sharp sword, discernment. The law of one seeks synthesis, thesis, light, plus antithesis, shadow, synthesis, unified consciousness. Theta, the warrior's energy, Mars. For those who seek service to others, integrating the shadow usually means recovering their Mars, their internal warrior. Spiritual people tend to be too Venusian, loving, receptive. But without Mars, Venus is violated. Without the capacity for defense and action, love is powerless. You need to integrate your capacity for violence to be able to be truly peaceful. As the proverb says, it is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. The gardener in the war dies of panic. The warrior in the garden enjoys the flowers, but if a wolf enters, he knows what to do. Do not be afraid of your strength. Do not be afraid of your capacity to say enough. That sacred enough is one of the highest vibrations in the universe. It is the vibration of truth cutting through lies. Jesus had this vibration. Gandhi had it. Martin Luther King had it. They were not soft. They were fierce in their love. That ferocity came from an integrated shadow. They knew evil, and therefore they could combat it with moral authority, not with naivety. Chapter 9. Spherical Time, the eternal now. Time is not a straight line that goes from birth to death. Time is a sphere. All points on the surface of the sphere are equidistant from the center. That center is the now. From the now you can access Rome in the year 100, your childhood in 1990, and your death in the future. Because everything is happening simultaneously, history is not written only once. It is constantly rewritten from the present. You are an amnesiac time traveler who believes he is trapped in a clock, when in reality you are the watchmaker. The Akashic Chronicles. For intelligent infinity, there is no before or after. There is only is. The illusion of sequence is a trick of 3D perception so that you can experience cause and effect. Without linear time, you could not learn lessons because the result would occur at the same time as the action. Time is the mechanism that stretches experience so it can be savored and understood. The raw material. You look at the clock, tick-tock. You feel that life is escaping you. You feel the weight of the past, errors, traumas, nostalgias. You feel the anxiety of the future, goals, fears, death. You live trapped in a horizontal line. You believe that what you did 10 years ago is dead and buried, and that what you will do tomorrow does not exist yet. This linear belief is the source of almost all human anxiety. But the law of one brings you a revelation that quantum physics has already confirmed. Linear time is a cognitive illusion. There is no universal flow of time. Time is elastic. It is relative. And most importantly, it is simultaneous. Imagine a book. All the pages exist at once. Page 1, page 50, page 300. The book is complete on the table. But you, the reader, read one word at a time. Your consciousness illuminates one phrase after another, creating the illusion of story. But if you close the book, the entire story is still there, happening all at once in the mind of the author. You are the author and the reader. All your lives, past, present, and future, are happening right now in the great eternal now. Your 5-year-old self is still playing in the garden. Your elderly self is already dying in his bed. Your self from the Middle Ages is fighting with a sword. All are you, all are concurrent. Today we are going to break the clock. We are going to learn to navigate spherical time. We are going to discover how to heal the past from the present and how to remember the future. The crystal sphere, geometry of the 4th dimension. To understand this, you have to leave flatland. If you are an ant walking on a sheet of paper, 2D, you only see lines. If someone folds the paper and makes the beginning touch the end, for the ant, it is a miracle, teleportation. For you, 3D, it is obvious. We live in 3rd density, perceiving the 4th dimension, time, as a line. But from the perspective of the higher self, who lives in 6th density, time is a sphere. The higher self is at the center of the sphere. All the points on the surface are your incarnations. One point is Juan in 2024, another point is Cleopatra in Egypt, another point is an alien in Sirius 1,000 years from now. The higher self looks at all these points simultaneously. It does not say, first I was Cleopatra, and then I was Juan. It says, I am being Cleopatra and Juan at the same time in different rooms of my multidimensional mansion. This explains why sometimes you have memory bleeds, déjà vu, past life memories, innate talents. They are not memories, they are parallel connections. You are tuning into the frequency of another part of the sphere. Mozart did not learn music. He tuned into a part of his sphere where he was already a musical master in another existence. Thus, space-time versus time-space, the reciprocity. The raw material makes a fascinating technical distinction that is vital to understand. There exist 2 realms, space-time, our incarnated reality. Here, you can move freely in space, but you are trapped in time. You flow like a river in a single direction. You cannot stop the clock. A time-space, the astral world between lives. Here it is the reverse. You are fixed in space, there is no distance, but you can move freely in time. You can go to 1789. You can go to 3000. You can review your entire life like someone rewinding a movie. It is the realm of the life review. When you die, you pass from space-time to time-space. There you see your life as a complete map. You see the consequences of your acts, and you plan your next incarnation or the simultaneous one. The goal of evolution is to integrate both realms, to become a master who has the consciousness of time-space while in a body. 3. Healing the past, retrocausality. If time is spherical, the past is not immutable. The physical fact occurred, yes, but the energetic charge and the meaning of the fact are alive and changing now. Quantum physics has demonstrated retrocausality. A decision in the present can affect the state of a particle in the past. Practical application, the re-imprinting. Imagine you have a trauma. At 7 years old, your father shouted at you and you felt humiliated. That 7-year-old child is still alive in your psyche, in the sphere, feeling humiliation right now. From your present self and the conscious adult, you can mentally travel to that moment. It is not imagination, it is quantum navigation. You enter the scene, you see the child crying, and you, the adult, embrace the child. You give him the love and protection he did not have then. You tell him, "I am here. You are valuable. I protect you." You change the vibration of the memory. What occurs? The past changes. The energetic footprint dissolves. Suddenly, in your present, the anxiety disappears. The phobia goes away. You have cured the timeline. You have modified the source code. The past does not define you. You define the past every time you visit it with a new consciousness. First, creating the future, the tree of probabilities. If the past is flexible, the future is liquid. There is no fixed the future. There exists a field of infinite probabilities. Imagine a tree that branches out. Every decision you take now opens one branch and closes another. If today you decide to forgive, you jump to the timeline where you have peace and health. If today you decide to hate, you jump to the timeline where you develop cancer and loneliness. Seers and prophets do not see the future. They see the line of greatest probability based on current energy. If you keep smoking and hating, the probability of illness is 90%. The seer sees illness. But you have free will. In the moment you change your vibration, now you change lanes. The prophecy breaks. The seer is wrong. He was not wrong. You changed the destination. The future is created in the eternal now. That is why worrying about the future is useless and toxic. The only way to ensure a good future is to vibrate high in the present. If your now is impeccable, your future is guaranteed mathematically. Take care of the step you are taking today. The path will appear on its own. V, the higher self, the player outside the console. Who coordinates this temporal chaos? Your higher self. The higher self is your future version of sixth density that has come back in time to help you evolve. It is as if you, after finishing a difficult video game, went back to level 1 to whisper in the ear of your rookie self. Careful, there is a trap, go left. Your intuition is your future self speaking to you. He has already lived your life, he has already won. He knows where the treasures are and where the monsters are. He is outside the labyrinth of linear time, looking at it from above. The law of one asks you to trust that guidance. When you have an illogical hunch, it is your higher self seeing the spherical map. Do not take that plane. Call this person. Your logical, linear mind says, it makes no sense. Your spherical mind says, do it. The more you listen to that timeless voice, the more fluid your life becomes. You start taking quantum shortcuts. V, chronological anxiety, the fear of death. The fear of time is, at heart, the fear of death. I am running out of time. The ego lives terrified by the countdown, but the soul knows there is no end. Death is only a change of density. It is leaving space, time, and entering time-space. It is taking off a tight suit. When you understand spherical time, the hurry disappears. Why run if you are eternal? Why stress about achieving things before 30, 40, 50 if you have millions of years ahead of you in other forms? This relaxation paradoxically makes you more productive. When you act without hurry, you act with precision. The state of flow is a state of no time. When you are painting, loving, or working on something you are passionate about, the clock disappears. 5 hours can pass, and they seem like 5 minutes. In that state, you have touched eternity. You have entered the 0 point. Your objective is to live your whole life in that state. Do each thing, washing the dishes, walking, working, as if it were the only thing that exists in the universe, without thinking about the next thing. Just this, here, now. There's the infinite patience, the rhythm of nature. Nature lives in spherical time. A tree is in no hurry to grow. It does not stress because it is winter and it has no leaves. It knows that spring is coming because spring is within the cycle. The human being is the only animal that tries to push the river. We want the reward before the work. We want the harvest before the sowing. This impatience creates distortion and suffering. The law of one teaches the sacred rhythm. Everything has its moment under the sun. There is a time to sow, action, a time to wait, gestation, and a time to harvest, result. If you try to harvest in sowing time, you destroy the crop. If you try to act when it is time to wait, you exhaust yourself. The master of time reads the energy of the moment. Today the energy is stagnant. Fine, I will not force. I will rest and sharpen my tools. Today the energy flows. Fine, I will work 12 hours with joy. Surf time, do not fight against it. Vefi, the Akasha, the library of everything. In time-space there exists a record of everything that has occurred, occurs and will occur, as probability. It is called the Akashic record. It is not a physical book. It is a vibratory field. Every thought you have had, every emotion you have felt, is recorded there. Nothing is lost. The universe is a perfect high-fidelity recording machine. You can access your own records. You do not need to be a famous medium. You only need intention and silence. When you ask, "Why am I afraid of water?" and suddenly an image of an ancient shipwreck comes to you. You have read the Akasha. You have accessed the memory of the sphere. This information is available to help you heal, not for morbid curiosity. The past is revealed to you when you are ready to let it go. Nai. Simultaneous reincarnation, the multiprocessor. This is an advanced idea from the Seth material and the law of one. It is possible that your soul is so large that it does not fit in a single body. Your higher self may be projecting several incarnations at once in the same timeline or in overlapping times. You may have an aspect living in New York and another in China. Both are learning different lessons to feed the same higher self. It is like a computer with several windows open, multiprocessor. This explains why sometimes you feel exhausted for no reason. Another part of you is going through a crisis, or inexplicably happy. Another part is falling in love. We are much more vast and complex than the ID card says. We are networks of consciousness, exploring reality in panoramic mode. X the power of now, the narrow gate. All this sounds very abstract, but it has a brutal practical application. The only place where you have power is the now. You cannot act in the past. You can only reinterpret it. You cannot act in the future. You can only imagine it. You can only move your arm now. You can only love now. You can only breathe now. The now is the point of insertion of free will. It is the narrow gate Jesus spoke of. If your mind is in the past, depression. If your mind is in the future, anxiety. If your mind is in the now, peace and power. The pendulums and the matrix try to pull you out of the now constantly. They want you to live in psychological time because there you are weak. In present time you are untouchable. In the now, there are no problems. Look closely. In this precise second, while you read this, do you have any problem? No. You are reading, breathing. The problem is a thought about tomorrow or yesterday. Return to the now whenever you feel lost. It is your safe base. Chapter 10. The Energy Centers, Jacob's Ladder. And he dreamed, and behold a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold the angels of God ascending and descending on it. Genesis 28:12. You are a living prism. The white light of the One enters through your feet and through your crown. Upon meeting in your body, this light refracts into 7 colors, 7 frequencies, 7 levels of experience. Most of humanity lives trapped in the first 3 steps: survival, red; sex, emotion, orange; and social power, yellow. But the exit door is on the 4th step, the heart, green. Climbing the ladder is not abandoning the body, but illuminating it until every cell vibrates at the frequency of the Creator. Teachings of the Law of One. Look at yourself in the mirror. You see flesh, bones, skin, and hair. You see a biological machine designed to eat, sleep, and reproduce. But if you could turn on indigo vision, the third eye, you would see something very different. You would see a column of bright light passing through your spine. You would see 7 vortices spinning at dizzying speeds, each with a specific color, like a vertical rainbow. You would see that your physical body is only the dense shell of a much more complex electrical system. You are an antenna. You are designed to channel the energy of intelligent infinity from earth to heaven and from heaven to earth. This structure has been known for millennia as the chakra system. In the Christian mystical tradition, it is known as Jacob's ladder. Each step of the ladder represents a lesson. Each step is a filter through which you perceive reality. If your filters are dirty, blocked, you see a dark and hostile world. If your filters are clean, crystallized, you see the glory of God in every atom. Today we are going to learn to clean the lenses. We are going to climb the ladder step by step to understand where you are stuck and how to unblock the sacred flow. Either rainbow physics, how light works. The Creator is white light, unity. But to have varied experiences, that light must break down. Your energetic body acts as a prism. The light enters and divides into 7 fundamental rays. These rays are not metaphors, they are real electromagnetic frequencies. Each ray governs an aspect of your life. Lower rays, 1, 2, 3, govern the ego, survival and society, the human animal. 2, the bridge, 4, governs love and transition, the spiritual human. 3, higher rays, 5, 6, 7, govern communication, intuition and divinity, the human God. The goal of evolution on Earth, third density, is to balance the first 3 and activate the 4th. If you die with the green ray closed, no matter how much money you have earned or how intelligent you are, you will repeat the course. Graduation depends exclusively on your ability to love, vibrate in green or higher. Toast the red ray, the root survival. Location, base of the spine, tailbone. Color, bright red. Concept, I exist. Function, physical survival, vital energy, connection with the earth. This is the foundation. Without a solid base, the building falls. The red ray takes care of your basic needs. Food, shelter, physical security, and instinctive reproduction. It is the energy of the caveman. It is sacred because it keeps you alive in the physical jungle. Blockage, fear. If you live with fear of not having money, of dying, of being attacked, or of getting sick, your red ray becomes blocked or dirty. You feel uprooted, weak, anemic, or with chronic anxiety. Chronic balance, feeling safe and having the right to be here. The adept knows that the earth supports them. They do not fear poverty because they trust their ability to generate. To heal the red, walk barefoot, exercise, eat healthy, connect with nature. Say, I have the right to exist. I am safe. Third, the orange ray, the sacral, emotion and sex. Location, lower belly, sexual organs. Color, warm orange. Concept, I feel. Function, personal relationships, one-on-one. Sexuality, creativity, self-acceptance. Here we begin to interact. You are no longer just surviving. You are feeling. It is the center of passions and eccentric personal identity. It is where you say, I like this, I don't like that. Blockage, guilt, and shame. If you feel guilty about your sexual desires or ashamed of who you are, the orange closes. This creates reproductive problems, frigidity, creative impotence, or toxic relationships of dependency. Balance, total acceptance of your uniqueness. The adept honors their desires. They enjoy pleasure without guilt, as long as it does not harm others. They allow themselves to be creative and different. To heal the orange. Forgive yourself. Enjoy art. Heal your relationship with sexuality. IV, the yellow ray, the solar plexus, social power. Location, pit of the stomach. Color, solar yellow. Concept, I do, I can. Function, personal power, will, intellect, group relationships, society, ego. This is where most of humanity is stuck today: wars, politics, status. It is the center of social interaction. It deals with control, hierarchy, competition, and your place in the tribe. It is the motor of the ego. Blockage, social shame and fear of control. If you need to control others to feel safe, tyranny, your yellow is overactive and dirty. If you are afraid of being controlled or are submissive, your yellow is weak. Digestive problems, ulcers, usually come from here. I cannot digest this situation, chouse person. Balance, self-confidence and respect. The adept has a strong but flexible ego. They know how to lead without dominating. They know how to follow without crawling. They feel proud of their achievements but not arrogant. To heal the yellow. Define your boundaries. Dare to shine. Stop seeking external approval. V the great leap, crossing to the green ray. Here we reach the border. The first three rays, red, orange, yellow, are the rays of personality. We share them with higher animals, which have survival, emotion, and social hierarchy. But the fourth ray is the springboard to the spirit. It is the point where the beast becomes an angel. It is the most difficult step of evolution. Most souls spend entire lives polishing their ego, yellow, without daring to jump to the heart, green, because the jump requires surrender. It requires letting go of logical control and trusting in love. First, the green ray, the heart, universal love. Location, center of the chest. Color, emerald green. Concept, I love. Function, unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, healing, bridge between matter and spirit. This is the center of the cross. This is where the magic happens. The law of one says that the green ray is the ray of unconditional freedom. Here you stop seeing others as rivals, yellow, or as objects of desire, orange, and begin to see them as souls, green. Blockage, grief, and lack of forgiveness. If you have a closed heart due to past wounds, armored so that they don't hurt me, you are spiritually dead. Energy rises from the earth, reaches the solar plexus, and stops. It cannot rise to the throat or the head. You become intelligent but cold, or powerful but cruel. Balance, compassion, and transparency. The adept loves without expecting anything, forgives quickly, sees God in everyone. When this center activates, you become a natural healer. Your mere presence calms. To heal the green, practice gratitude, forgive radically, open the chest physically, yoga. 7th, the blue ray, the throat, communication. Location, throat. Color, sky blue. Concept, I speak, I create. Function, expression of truth, honest communication, higher creativity, wisdom. Once the heart is open, energy rises to the throat. Love, green, needs to express itself, blue. Here is where you speak your truth. According to the raw material, this is the ray of free radiation. It is the ray of the masters who teach. Blockage, lies and repressed silence. If you lie, to others or yourself, you block the blue. If you keep quiet about what you feel out of fear, you block the blue, not in the throat. The manipulative use of the word also dirties this ray. Balance, impeccable honesty. The adept says what they think and thinks what they say. Their word is law. They speak with authority but with love. To heal the blue, sing, write. Speak the truth even if your voice trembles. Stop gossiping. There's the indigo ray, the third eye, intuition. Location, between the eyebrows, pineal gland. Color, indigo, dark blue, violet. Concept, I see. Function, intuition, psychic vision, connection with the higher self, magic, shaper of form. This is the center of the magician. In the law of one, it is given supreme importance. The indigo ray is the gateway to intelligent infinity. It is the center that coordinates all others. The work of the adept happens here. This is where you visualize the reality you want to create. Chapter 10, Quantum Surfer. This is where you receive divine guidance. Blockage, the illusion of separation and mental rigidity. If you only believe in what you see with physical eyes, materialism, your indigo is calcified. If you are too rational and deny magic, you close this eye. Balance, holistic vision. The adept sees beyond appearances. They know that all is one. They have lucid dreams and latent telepathy. To heal the indigo, meditation in silence, visualization, trusting hunches, stop seeking logic for everything. Night, the violet ray, the crown, the all. Location, crown, top of the head. Color, violet, white. Concept, I am. Function, union with the Creator, sum of all rays, spiritual identity. This is not a center that you operate. It is your energetic signature. It is the result of the sum of all the other rays. It is the thermometer of your soul. Here is where cosmic energy, prana chai, enters to feed the system. If the rays below are balanced, the violet shines like a halo. That is why they paint saints with auroras. It is the direct connection with the Logos. Here, the small I dissolves and merges with the I am. X the Kundalini, the serpent of fire. How do these energies move? There exists a latent force called Kundalini or Shakti, coiled at the base of the spine, red ray. It is the evolutionary potential. The goal of yoga and meditation is to awaken this serpent so it rises through the spine, activating each chakra, until reaching the crown. When the serpent, earth, kisses the eagle, heaven, at the head, enlightenment occurs. Safety warning. Do not try to force the rising of the Kundalini with aggressive breathing techniques if you have not done the prior emotional work. If high voltage energy rises and finds a blockage, it will burn the circuit. This can cause psychosis, intense physical pain, or nervous breakdowns. The Law of One recommends the safe path, gradual balance. Clean your fears and guilt first. Learn to forgive. When the path is clean, the energy will rise on its own, in a gentle and ecstatic way. Daily balancing technique, soul hygiene. Just as you shower to clean the physical body, you must clean your energy body. The raw material suggests a daily review technique. 1. Review of the day. At the end of the day, review what has happened to you. 2. Identification of the ray. Did you get angry? Yellow. Did you worry about money? Red. Acceptance and amplification. Do not judge yourself. Accept that you felt that. Amplify the emotion for a second to fully recognize it. 4. Balancing, invocation of the opposite. Now, consciously invoke the opposite emotion. If you felt fear, invoke courage. If you felt anger, invoke compassion. Visualization. Visualize the two emotions together in your mind. Accept them as parts of the Creator. And choose love. By doing this, you untie the energetic knot formed during the day. You prevent it from crystallizing into a trauma or a future illness. You keep your pipes clean. Theosis to crystallization, becoming a diamond. The final goal is the crystallization of the centers. A blocked center is an opaque stone. It does not let light pass. An open but chaotic center is like murky water. A crystallized center is like a cut diamond. It lets light pass perfectly and amplifies it. When a human being has crystallized their 7 centers, they become an adept. Their physical body may seem normal, but their presence is magnetic. They have access to infinite energy. They do not get tired emotionally because energy flows, it does not stagnate. They have an instant power of manifestation. And most importantly, they are a living portal for the Creator to experience His own creation with total lucidity. Chapter 11. The Conscious Creator. Magic without magic. Magic is not something supernatural. It is simply the ability to change consciousness at will. When consciousness changes, the universe changes, because the universe is nothing more than condensed consciousness. The true magician does not perform tricks. He transforms himself until his vibration is identical to the desired reality. At that point of perfect resonance, desire ceases to be a desire and becomes a physical fact. You do not attract what you want, you become it. The Kybalion, Law of One. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. The key is not in the asking, but in the believe that ye receive them. Time is an illusion. If you can feel the possession of something in the eternal now, the universe has no choice but to materialize it in linear space-time to maintain the coherence of its own structure. Mark 11:24 decoded. You have climbed the mountain. You have understood that you are one with the all. You have accepted your free will. You have cleansed your energy centers. Now you are ready to claim your heritage. You are no longer a child of God asking for favors. You are a God in training, learning to use his tools. The Creator's main tool is not the hammer nor money. The tool is focused consciousness. Society has taught you that to get something you have to fight, compete, suffer, and manipulate matter with your hands. That is third density creation, brute force. It works, but it is slow and exhausting. There is a higher way, the way of fourth and fifth density creation, fifth. It is what the ancients called magic, but it is not magic of wands and potions. It is high physics. It is the art of manipulating intelligent energy, light, through the precise use of will, yellow, and visualization, indigo, driven by love, green. Today we will learn to stop chasing things and start emanating them. We are going to learn the difference between desiring, beggar's posture, and decreeing, king's posture. The fallacy of attraction, why your desires fail. Surely you have heard of the law of attraction. Visualize a car and the car will come. Millions of people try it and fail. Why? Because they do it from lack. When you say, I want a new car, you are sending a signal to the universe that says, I do not have a new car. The universe, which is a literal mirror without a sense of humor, responds to your dominant vibration. Your dominant vibration is, I do not have. So the universe gives you more of not having. It keeps you in the state of wanting. Desire reaffirms the absence of the object. The conscious creator does not want. The conscious creator knows. He does not say, I wish I had health. He says, I am health. The change is subtle but tectonic. You move from asking for something external to recognizing something internal. Magic does not consist of bringing something from the outside in, attraction. It consists of radiating from the inside out. Everything you desire already exists in the quantum field, the space of variations. Your job is not to create it. It is to tune into it. To the power of I am, identity versus ego. The most potent magic formula in the universe has two words, I am. In Hebrew, Ehye Asher Ehye. It is the name God gave himself before Moses. It is not a name. It is a description of state. When you say I am, you are invoking the power of the Creator to define your reality. If you say I am poor, you are using the power of God to create poverty, and it works. If you say I am stupid, you are using the power of God to limit yourself, and it works. If you say I am sick, you are giving an order to your cells to maintain the illness. The magician watches his I am like a hawk. Never, under any circumstances, join those two sacred words to anything you do not want to see manifested. Instead of I am tired, say I am recharging energy. Instead of I am poor, say I am in the process of creating abundance. But it goes beyond language. It is a feeling of identity. You have to feel rich before seeing the money. You have to feel loved before seeing the partner. This seems irrational to the 3D mind. Believe it when I see it. But it is the law of 5D. Believe, be it, to see it. Assume the identity of the one who already has the desire fulfilled. Walk, talk, and breathe like him. The universe cannot resist a coherent identity. It has to reorder matter to match your frequency. Third, the indigo gate, the architect. Where does the magic happen? In the 6th chakra, indigo ray. The third eye. According to the raw material, the indigo ray is the gateway to intelligent infinity. It is the architect's studio. This is where you design the blueprint. Most people use their imagination to worry. That is unconscious black magic. The conscious creator uses his imagination to build thought forms. 1. Silence. Enter meditation to turn off the noise of the world. 2. Visualization. Build a detailed holographic image of your goal, not as a movie on a flat screen, but as an immersive, virtual reality. 3. Sensorality. Add touch, smell, and emotion. Feel the car key in your hand. Feel the embrace. Feel the sand of the beach. 4. Energetic charge. Inject love, green ray, and will, yellow ray, into the image. Love it. Desire it with pure intention, not a desperate one. 5. Release. Let the image go into the ether. Trust. When you do this correctly, you have created a real energetic entity in the astral plane. That thought form now has a life of its own. It will work day and night, magnetizing circumstances, people, and coincidences to densify and fall into the physical plane. The sharper the image, the faster it manifests. V. The paradox of detachment. Surrender. Here is the trick where almost everyone fails. To manifest something, you have to desire it intensely, and at the same time not need it at all. It is the archer's paradox. You have to draw the bow with strength, intention, but you have to release the string gently, detachment. If you stay holding the string, obsession, attachment, the arrow does not fly. If you pull very little, lack of desire, the arrow does not reach. The conscious creator says, I desire this, I choose it, I'm going for it. But if it doesn't arrive today, or if it arrives differently, I'm fine. My happiness does not depend on it. I am already whole, one. This is just a game. This attitude of preference without necessity is irresistible to the universe. It eliminates excessive potential. The universe flows through the path of least resistance. If you are desperate, you create a wall. If you are relaxed and playful, you open the door wide. Faith is quiet certainty, not hysterical hope. V. The word abracadabra. The word abracadabra comes from the Aramaic avracadabra, which means I create as I speak. Your word is a magic wand. Sound is acoustic vibration that modulates matter. In the Bible, God creates the world by speaking, let there be light. You do the same. Every time you speak, you are decreeing. Gossip, complaining, criticism, and self-deprecation are dark spells you cast over your own life. When you speak ill of someone, you are dirtying your own energetic field. When you complain about your luck, you are signing a contract to keep having bad luck. The magician practices impeccability of the word. He does not lie, because lying weakens his manifestation power. If you lie, your subconscious knows your word is worthless. When you try to decree, I am rich, your subconscious will laugh. Lie, just like you lied yesterday about the traffic. For your decrees to work, your word must be law. He does not complain. He transforms the complaint into a request or an action. He uses silence. He knows that talking about projects too early dissipates energy. He keeps the secret, hermeticism, so the energy accumulates and explodes in results, not in words. Vi. Inspired action, the physical bridge. Magic does not mean sitting on the sofa to meditate and waiting for a bag of money to fall from the ceiling. We live in a physical world, and a physical channel is required. You must build the bridge. This is called inspired action. When you have done the energy work, the universe will send you impulses. Go to that coffee shop. Call this client. Write this email. Buy this book. Sometimes they seem like illogical actions. Do them. Those actions are the links in the chain of coincidences that will take you to your goal. The magician moves, but he does not move from stress, he moves from flow. He acts with the certainty that every step is guided. He does not push the river, he rows with the current, pray as if everything depended on God, but work as if everything depended on you. This amalgam of metaphysics and physics is the formula for success. Seventh, gratitude as an accelerator. Gratitude is the highest frequency of manifestation. Why? Because you normally give thanks after receiving a gift. Therefore, feeling gratitude is the biological and energetic signal that you have already received. If you give thanks for perfect health before healing, you are hacking the matrix. You are telling the quantum field that the healing already occurred, and the quantum field obeys and manifests the healing. Gratitude collapses time. It turns the future into the present. The conscious creator lives in a state of perpetual gratitude. He doesn't give thanks for things, he gives thanks in things. Appreciate being alive. Appreciate the challenge. This vibration is a super powerful magnet. To the one who has gratitude, more will be given. To the one who does not have complaint, even what he has will be taken away. Fate, white magic versus black magic, cosmic ethics. At this point you must be careful. These techniques work for everyone, whether saints or tyrants. Energy is neutral, but intention determines the price you will pay. White magic, service to others. You use your power to create abundance, health, and harmony for yourself and others. You seek win-win. You respect the free will of others. Result, your soul expands. The energy returns multiplied. Black magic, service to self. You use your power to control others, dominate, or take away. You violate free will. Example, you use a spell to force someone to love you. Result, it works temporarily. But you generate terrible karma. You disconnect from the source. By forcing others, you bind yourself to them with heavy chains. Eventually, your own magic turns against you and destroys you. Illness, madness, loneliness. Never use your power to manipulate the will of another. The true magician masters his own universe. The leap of faith walking on water. A moment will come when reality will seem to contradict your magic. You have decreed abundance, but an unpayable bill arrives. You have decreed health, but it hurts more. This is the test of faith. The universe is asking, do you really believe what you say, or were you just playing? Most people give up here. See, this doesn't work. The magician persists. The magician looks at the bill, smiles, and says, this is a temporary illusion. My reality is abundance. This is just a remnant of the past that is being cleared. And he keeps walking on water. He does not look down into the abyss of doubt. He keeps his eyes on the goal. This persistence in the face of contrary evidence is what breaks the sound barrier of reality. Reality has to yield to an unbreakable faith. It is physical law. Chapter 12. The Harvest, the Density Jump. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Matthew 24:31-33. Our planet Earth is at the end of a major cycle of 75,000 years. The bell has rung, class is over. The exams are being collected. It does not matter if you have finished writing or not. Time has run out. Now comes the harvest. Those who have reached the necessary vibration, love, light, will graduate to fourth density. Those who have not will repeat the third density cycle elsewhere. It is not a moral judgment. It is a matter of vibratory physics. You cannot tune in to FM on a radio that only picks up AM. The raw material. You look around and feel that something is happening. Time seems to accelerate. The days fly by, the weather is strange, institutions are crumbling, lies come to light in a grotesque way, people are polarized, either very awake and loving or very crazy and violent. You feel a pressure in your chest, a background anxiety. You feel a sense of imminence, as if the air were charged with static electricity before a great storm. You are not crazy, you are feeling the harvest. You are living the most important event in the history of a planet, the density jump. The Earth, as a living entity, Gaia, has decided to evolve. It has decided to leave behind the school of separation, third density, and enter the university of love and understanding, fourth density. And you are here to witness it, live it, and, if you have done your work, graduate with her. This final chapter is not a prophecy of the end of the world. The world does not end. It transforms. But as in every birth, there is blood, pain, and screams before the new life appears. Today we are going to understand the mechanics of this birth. We are going to see what happens to those who leave and those who stay, and we are going to give you the final instructions to cross the bridge while the old world burns behind you. By the cosmic clock, the cycles of time. The universe is not linear, it is cyclic. Just as you have day and night, winter and summer, galaxies have seasons. Our solar system travels through space and passes through different energy zones. According to the law of one, the major cycle of experience for a planetary sphere in third density is approximately 75,000 years. This cycle is divided into 3 minor cycles of 25,000 years, the precession of the equinoxes. At the end of each minor cycle, there is an opportunity for harvest, graduation of souls. But at the end of the major cycle, now, Graduation is mandatory for the planet itself. The Earth can no longer endure the vibration of hate and war. Its aura is changing. Its Schumann frequency is rising. It is entering a zone of the galaxy of high photonic density, light love. This new light is incompatible with old structures. That is why everything is breaking. Structures based on fear, control, and lies cannot structurally sustain themselves in the new 4D vibration. They crumble under their own weight. The chaos you see is not the end. It is the cleaning. It is the planet's immune system expelling the virus of fear so it can heal. What is fourth density? The destination. Where are we going? The fourth density is the realm of love and understanding. Physically, it will be a brighter world. Metaphysically, it has very different rules from the third density, where we are. Transparency, no more lies. In 4D, telepathy and empathy are the norm. You cannot hide your thoughts or feelings. The veil of forgetting, Chapter 4, is lifted. This means that lies, manipulation, and crime become impossible. How are you going to steal from someone if they can feel your intention before you act? How will a politician lie if everyone sees their black aura? A society without lies is a society of absolute love. Light body. Our carbon-based physical bodies will evolve gradually towards silicon, light-based forms, more subtle, less dense, free of degenerative diseases. Group harmony. Social memory complexes will be formed. Individualities are not lost, but they are connected in a voluntary network. It is the end of loneliness. You know what the other feels. Their joy is yours. This is the promised paradise. But there is a problem. You cannot enter there with trash in your pockets. If you enter a world of total transparency carrying hidden hate, judgments, or fears, that light would burn you. Your own darkness would be unbearable when exposed. That is why the harvest is necessary. Third, the mechanics of separation, the wheat and the chaff. The harvest is not a bearded god choosing his favorites. It is a physical process of frequency resonance. Imagine 3 doors with vibration detectors. The door of positive graduation, 4D+. To cross, your energy field must vibrate at least 51% in service to others. You must have opened your green ray, heart. You must be able to love and forgive more than you judge and control. Those who cross this door will inherit the new earth. The door of negative graduation, 4D. To cross, you must vibrate at least 95% in service to self. They are the dark elites, the beings of pure control and lack of empathy. They also graduate, but they go to a negative 4th density planet, a world of hierarchy, power, and constant struggle to continue their separate evolution. They leave the Earth. The door of repetition, 3D. Here goes the vast majority of current humanity. The lukewarm, those who are neither 51% positive nor 95% negative. Those who are still trapped in apathy, fear, inertia, and distraction. Their souls are not ready for the intensity of 4D. The light would psychologically disintegrate them. Out of mercy, they are prevented from entering. They are moved to other 3rd density planets to repeat the cycle of learning choice. It is not a punishment. It is repeating a grade because you did not learn the lesson. Fear the apocalypse, the revelation. The word apocalypse comes from the Greek and means lifting the veil or revelation. It does not mean total destruction. It means that everything hidden will be revealed. We are seeing this now. The networks of corruption, manipulation, and mental control that have operated in the shadows are coming to light. People are waking up and seeing the matrix. This is painful. It is like turning on the light in a dirty kitchen and seeing the cockroaches run. The initial reaction is disgust and panic, but it is necessary to see the dirt in order to clean it. The harvest process involves an extreme polarization. As the light increases, the shadows become blacker. Those who choose fear become paranoid and violent. Those who choose love become radiant and peaceful. The gap between the two groups widens. It will reach a point where it will seem like they live in 2 different realities, superimposed but untouchable. In fact, it is already happening. You can be at peace in the middle of chaos while your neighbor lives in hell on the same street. You are vibrating in divergent timelines. V symptoms of ascension, the body in mutation. The change is not just social, it is biological. Your DNA is mutating to adapt to the new solar frequency. This produces what are called Ascension symptoms, extreme tiredness or insomnia. Your body is recalibrating, ringing in the ears, changes in auditory frequency. Inexplicable pains, release of old cellular traumas, red-orange ray, loss of short-term memory, you are leaving linear time, intolerance to junk food or alcohol, your body rejects low density, emotional hypersensitivity, you cry for nothing, you laugh for nothing. You are cleaning the emotional body. Do not run to the doctor for pills to sleep your awakening. Listen to your body. Rest. Drink plenty of water, energy conductor. Take some sun. You are shedding your skin. The caterpillar dissolves into a biological soup before being a butterfly. You are in the soup phase. Trust the process. Vie the great karmic cleaning acceleration. At the end of the cycle, karma accelerates. Before you could do something bad and the effect reached you in the next life, there was a buffer and cushion of time. Now the buffer has disappeared. You do something today and you pay for it tomorrow. You think something negative and it manifests in an hour. The time between cause and effect is almost zero. This is wonderful if you are polarized in positive, instant manifestation of blessings. But it is terrible if you are polarized in negative or fear, instant manifestation of disasters. The universe is doing a general cleaning before the move. All your dirty laundry, unresolved traumas, shadows, secrets, is coming out of the closet all at once. It seems that everything is going wrong at the same time. It's not that it's going wrong, it's that it's being cleaned. The universe is forcing you to face everything you left pending. Do you still hate your father? Resolve it now. You cannot take that hate to 4D. Do you still have fear of scarcity? Face it now. Appreciate this intensity. It is the pressure that turns coal into diamond. Zeph, the final exam, love versus fear. Imagine you are in the final exam room. The teacher, life, puts the sheet in front of you. The question is unique. Do you choose love or fear? But the question does not come written on paper. It comes in the form of events. Event, a new pandemic, a war, or an economic crisis. Your reaction, fear. You get scared, you buy toilet paper compulsively, you hate the guilty, you shut yourself in, you lower your vibration, you fail. Love. You stay calm, you help your neighbors, you do not judge, you understand that it is a catalyst, you keep your light on, you pass. Every news item is a test. Every political provocation is a test. Are you going to fall into the trap of separation, them against us? Or are you going to maintain the vision of the one? We are all the creator learning. The exam is constant, 24/7. The harvest is decided in the privacy of your heart, in how you react to the unexpected. Awaken, the prophecy of the new earth, Gaia 4D. What will the world be like after the storm? The seers and the law of one material agree. It will be an ecologist spiritual civilization. Technology, clean and free, zero-point energy, anti-gravity. We will stop burning things, oil for energy, which is primitive. Economy, based on resources and service, not on debt and scarcity. Money as a control tool will disappear. Society, decentralized, self-sufficient communities connected globally. Nutrition, respectful. We will stop eating animals, who are our younger second-density brothers evolving. This Earth already exists in a high-frequency parallel timeline. We are building the bridge to it with every thought of love. Those who cannot vibrate there will simply not see it. They will live their own apocalypse on the old timeline, while the graduates disappear from their view toward the new reality. Zausi, instructions for the traveler, your backpack. What do you need to take with you for this trip? Only 3 things. 1. An open heart, green ray. The ability to forgive is your passport. If you hold a grudge, you weigh too much. You cannot fly. Release ballast. Forgive everyone, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to ascend. A serene mind, indigo ray. The ability to observe chaos without being dragged by it. Be the eye of the hurricane. 3. The will to serve, polarity. The willingness to help. Ask yourself every day, how can I be useful today? You do not need underground shelters, or gold, or weapons. Your protection is your vibration. If you vibrate high, you are invisible to misfortune. Catastrophic events will pass by your side without touching you, because there is no resonance. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Psalm 91. Tanti C. X. The Farewell, the last act. We are in the final minutes of the third density play. The actors are giving their final speeches. The drama is at its peak. Soon the curtain will fall, the lights will turn on. We will take off our masks of rich, poor, enemies, victims. We will look into each other's eyes and remember who we are. Brothers, souls, one. We will laugh at how real it all seemed. We will embrace. And then the director, the Logos, will ask us, how was the experience? Did you learn to love? If your answer is yes, the big door will open, the door to the stars, the door to the true life, where death no longer exists and love is the air that is breathed. Conclusion, the eternal return. The book ends here. The words run out, but the reality to which the words point has no end. We have traveled from the origin of intelligent infinity, passing through the creation of light, the imposition of the veil, the struggle of polarity, and the promise of the harvest. You have received the complete map of existence. But remember, the map is not the territory. Knowing intellectually that all is one does not enlighten you. It only informs you. Only living it enlightens you. And living it is the challenge of every second, of every breath. The challenge is not seeing the one in a sacred temple. The challenge is seeing the one when you are stuck. The challenge is seeing the one when you are stuck in traffic, when you are betrayed, or when you look in the mirror and do not like yourself. The challenge is maintaining the vision of unity in the midst of the chaos of duality. Do not seek enlightenment as something that will happen in the future with an explosion of lights and trumpets. Enlightenment is simply the elimination of the error of believing that you are alone, the error of believing that you are mortal, the error of believing that you need to defend yourself from a universe that is yourself. When you eliminate the error, what remains is the truth, and the truth has always been there, silent. Truth has been waiting for you to stop making noise with your mind. You leave this audiobook with a new identity. You are no longer Juan, Maria, or Pedro, struggling to survive in a hostile and scarce world. You are the creator, disguised as Juan, Maria, or Pedro, exploring the limits of his own creation. You are the artist and the artwork. You are the player and the board. You are the lover and the beloved. Your life on earth is brief. It is a blink in the history of the cosmos. Do not waste it sleeping. Do not waste it hating. Do not waste it being afraid. Play. Play with passion. Play with intensity. But never forget that it is a game. If you take the game too seriously, you suffer unnecessarily. If you do not take it seriously, you get bored and lose the opportunity to grow. The master plays with sacred seriousness and cosmic laughter at the same time. When you go out into the world now, take the secret with you. Be a spy of divinity. Walk among normal people knowing what you know, but without arrogance. Be kind for no apparent reason. Be generous without expecting reward. Be firm without anger. Become a node of the light network that is sustaining the planet in its transition. You are God's plan. There is no other plan. No ships will come to save you. You are the ship. Your body is biological technology. Your heart is the antimatter engine. The law of one is simple, so simple it is frightening. All is one. If you harm another, you harm yourself. If you love another, you love yourself. Service is the key. Light is the material. Love is the way. Come back home. The door has always been open. Only you locked it from the inside. The Father has always been waiting on the road, scanning the horizon, waiting to see your silhouette return from your long journey through the darkness. You are already arriving. Let go of the suitcases of fear. Run. The eternal embrace awaits you.